ones right there.
Yeah, Long's Electronics, and I forgot the other big one.
They just reboxed it.
Reboxed it for me?
Yeah.
No, not those great people. They didn't do that. All right, that's our not-so-tender moment of the day. When we come back, college football hot seats. There are 5 that are out there, according to a USA Today story, that are fascinating. A guy, Blake Topmeyer, can't stop thinking about them. But I got a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 coaches. I'll ask LT, are they coaching at their school in 2027 after the 2026 season? Show today being brought to you by our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Don't forget, Leslie and her board-certified team can help you jumpstart your weight loss today. Planforme.com. A planforme.com takes you to the Way to Wellness website, and you will learn right there there's no contracts, there's no sign-up fees, and that first consultation with Leslie and her team, absolutely free. They've got injection therapy, they've got meal replacements, and so much more. It's all right there at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
We interrupt this program for breaking news. From the gators of the litigation situation. Insurance companies have a playbook. I repeat, insurance companies have a playbook. Deny, delay, defend. They know which law firms will fold and settle cheap. They are not on your side. That's corporate greed at work. At Alexander Sonara Trial Attorney, we fight back. We have the resources, the muscle, and the will to take them on. And you don't pay a dime unless we win. They fight dirty. We fight hard. Call 659-777-7777 or hit up alexwins.law.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
Taylor, Ryan Brown, live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. The next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
This hour of the show brought to you by Champy's world-famous fried chicken. Sterling and the crew down there ready to help you enjoy your spring or summer of 2026. Go ahead and make your plans. If you're listening to us in Coleman or Huntsville or Nashville or Franklin, you're driving down to the beach using I-65 and you're going through that Alabaster exit, plan to stop off for lunch there or on your way back home for dinner there one night. And just see Sterling and the crew. They're open lunch and dinner every day. Just delicious southern fried chicken, brined overnight, cooked to order, hand-cut chicken fingers, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. It's a destination location right there with our friends at Champy's Chicken. All right, developing news from the NFL. Forrester sends this to me. Adam Schefter is reporting that Tyreek Hill has been released by the Dolphins, 32 years old on March the 1st. The market for Tyreek Hill is?
I mean, at 32, he can still freaking burn. He's probably still one of the 5 fastest guys in the NFL, but the production did take a hit, and there was a little attitude and, some comments I don't think the Dolphins really appreciated. Only 1 touchdown last year. Today's next round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the next round.
It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time. It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time.
From driveways to interstates, accidents happen fast. The insurance company's response? Here's our offer. Take it or leave it. Leave it. Call Alexander Sonara Trial Attorneys. Over 250,000 clients. And no, they don't accept lowball offers. They fight, they win. Over $2 billion recovered. Call now for a free consultation. 659-777-7777 or alexwins.law. Physical office location, Birmingham.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. The next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Browns off again today. Back with us tomorrow. Mick Gillespie sitting in with LT and me today. All the guys, including Brooks, back with us behind the big glass. So we're healthier today. Marty Smith's on the show at 9:30, halfway through hour number 1 of the show. A lot to talk about in the NFL. Franchise Tag Day opens today. We'll pick LT's brain on some good moves, bad moves, franchise tag-wise. We'll talk basketball. Good one last night. We'll get to what we saw when we talk Kalshi later on with Iowa State and Houston. It was a classic. But we'll start with college football. Before we do that, though, Mick, how are you?
Hey, great to see you guys.
Yeah, great to see you. It is Fat Tuesday to those that celebrate. Mm-hmm. I saw you walk in with some stuff. You're from that area.
Yeah, for Fairhope, representing the Mardi Gras parade routes. And
it's a tacky-ass shirt you brought in.
Hey, look, I just saved that for later.
Okay.
I got it, but I wanted to bring Fat Tuesday to Birmingham today.
I have never been to the Mardi Gras there. Have you?
I've been to Mobile a couple of times. I've never gone to the one in New Orleans. And Mick and I were talking about the differences back in the day, more family-oriented in Mobile. But I went down a lot in the 90s to Mobile. It seems like we'd make my best friend in the world, Shep, was dating a Fairhope girl. And we went down a couple of times. Her dad owns a big car dealership down there, Myers.
Okay,
yeah. And that was a trip. We'd go down there a couple of times, and it was always fun.
Yeah, I've just never spent a lot of time in Mobile. My older brother lives there in Spanish Fort, and we started to go to the Floribama a lot, but, that's about as close as I get to Mobile.
Yeah, well.
So will you drive back down tonight to celebrate Fat Tuesday?
We'll see. I'm going to decide, game time decision on whether I stay or I don't. It is because the drive is.
Oh, it's brutal.
It's
so boring.
Yeah.
Don't let the old man in, man. Go. How many more Fat Tuesdays do you have left?
I'm not doing
That's how my guys get me to Las Vegas every other year. Like, I try to, Alabama and Auburn's been good in basketball. I try to go to these NCAA tournaments, but they keep pounding me. They start in November. Hey, March Madness, man. March, you got to go this year. And that's how they get to me eventually.
Yeah, I was there last year.
Eventually, you're not going to be able to do Las Vegas.
Well, that's if you're not walking. Like, there are certain things, it doesn't matter your age, you can do. Mardi Gras is one of those things. I think Las Vegas is one of those things. I don't think you ever look and you're like, damn, that guy is old.
Yeah.
It's part of the festivities. It's like, crib to grave.
Yeah, but I think that's what they were saying is eventually you're
when you
not
can't
going to you're not going to get out of bed and be able to go to play golf for 4 days and watch basketball and then crap tables until 2 a.m.
Such a good time.
So you might want to make the drive for Fat Tuesdays. How many Fat Tuesdays do you have left, Mick? I'll put the peer pressure on you that my guys put on me.
I hope I at least have 25 more. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
That's a grind though. Like, so driving 3+ hours here, 3+ hours back, and then getting down there.
Wait, you didn't stay the night here last night? You woke up and commuted in for this show today.
Yeah, because what
are you doing?
Well, I'll tell you this.
He loves driving early in the morning.
I'm an early bird, man. When it comes to driving, if I get out of Fairhope at like 3 a.m., I'm happy. They get to the interstate before 4, and then I'm through Montgomery before maybe 6 o'clock, and then get up here around 7 normally.
So how many miles do you put on a car a year?
40,000.
My gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Dunaway, but now I'm probably 12 to 15,000. If I throw in the trips down to the coast and stuff, it's a little bit different.
Right.
But
I was 22 last year, counting my drives to Alabama and Auburn basketball and all that. But I did 22. Harold at Hoover Toyota, as that pops up on our screen, asked me the other day. He goes, "Well, maybe let's talk about a lease, maybe, because how much do you drive?" And I said, last year I was between 20 and 22, and he's like, "Oh, that's He goes, it doesn't matter if you're going to buy it at the end, though. You don't have any problem with that." So I was just like...
Yeah, but you're not doing those trips nearly as much as you did last year.
I have shut it down quite a bit, yeah. That's a good point. It was 20 to 22 for me last year in my personal car.
40,000.
But it's not 40.
That's a lot.
That's like a truck driver.
Yeah.
I feel like that.
Yeah.
It's like Brett from New Mexico.
I try to get out before those guys. So you guys more moon pie or king cake?
Neither.
Okay, back to the Fat Tuesday.
Yeah, but I would do moon pies, and I met the guy that, and I don't know if you remember this time. He brought us moon pies up here. Super nice guy. I met him down at the beach. I'm just not a moon pie guy.
I will.
What do you have against the moon pie?
Yeah,
I don't like that.
This guy.
It's so dry. It is so dry, and then when you put the dry with the marshmallow, it's just not a good mix.
See, I don't even like marshmallows. Moon pies are the only way I'll eat marshmallows.
Yeah, good point.
I would tell you the only thing that I enjoyed about the moon pie. First of all, I support the moon pie over the king cake because it's local. It's in the state.
I would agree with that. But king cakes got a little bit better of a taste to me.
The moon pie, and I always forget the name of this place at the summit that had the unique milkshakes. That's by the Mexican. Used to be
Flip Burger.
Something burger. What was it?
Flip Burger.
Flip Burger.
Flip Burger.
They also did the Krispy Kreme donut milkshake.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
Nice.
they had a moon pie like twist on it, and I enjoyed that twist of the moon pie. But I'm with you, day to day.
Well, it's like they're all like the shelf, like they've been out there for 3 or 4 years. Like they're all stale.
I don't know the invention. I don't
The
know
problem
the
with the king cake is you shit a rainbow.
Yeah.
Do you think that when a person's throwing you food off of a float, that it'd be good to eat?
No, but I'm saying even if you go buy moon pies in the store, they taste like, this thing's been out of date for about a year.
I think it came in the generational of okay, we need to package food that can go into space, and the moon pie was the dessert made for space.
Right, with Tang. Got to drink Tang and eat moon pies.
Okay, a couple of big stories we'll get to before Marty Smith joins us, brought to you by our friends at Bojangles. Now through February 22nd, if you want great taste, you get it with our friends at Bojangles. They've got that heart-shaped Bowberry biscuit going on a little bit longer, and it helps Bojangles support a great cause. 10% of the sales goes to the Hardest Yard, that's the Greg Olson Foundation, and the Bojangles Foundation, which helps fund heart health and research in the communities that Bojangles serves. So enjoy the tasty Bowberry biscuit and help out the Hardest Yard, the Greg Olson Foundation, right now. The Bowberry biscuit is on the menu through February 22nd at your local Bojangles. Make it Bow time. Yesterday was Pile on Kalen DeBoer Day in the national media. And just to revisit, the three of us support Kalen DeBoer as the coach at Alabama. We think LT before me thought it was the guy they should go hire to replace Nick Saban. That's right. Before
Home
his
run.
name was even mentioned, you threw Kalen. They should go get Kalen DeBoer.
Right.
And when they started to do that, you were like, oh my goodness, they're on the right path. And when they hired him, you thought home run hire.
I thought home run hire, yes.
Yes. And you think Kalen DeBoer is doing a good job, or he is? Give me your Kalen DeBoer thought, Mick.
I like Kalen DeBoer. I think he's a good guy. I know he has a tough job to replace Nick Saban, but I like the fact that he's embraced that, and he's really gone after it. So yeah, I'm supportive.
Yeah, I think if his personality was different, I think people would feel different. I think his personality was more Dan Lanning, a little more aggressive, a little more edgy. I think 9-4 in year one would be more digestible. I think 11-4 last year would be more digestible. I just don't know how you can deny what he's done in 4 years as a Power 4 coach. From 11 wins to 14 at Washington, winning a conference championship, and playing for a national championship, and then making the transition to a new job, following the greatest to ever do it maybe in any sport, winning 9 games, the last team out of the college football playoff, in year 2 playing for the conference championship, winning 11 games and winning a playoff game on the road. I mean, so overall now, in 2 years, or in 4 years, 45 wins and 11 losses. He's basically an 11-3 coach in the Power 4 in 4 years. Would you take 11-3 almost every year?
That's what I was about to ask. Like, okay, he hasn't won a national championship at either place.
But how many people have, right?
That's right. How many people have done a better job than Kalen DeBoer?
Maybe 3. Maybe 3. He's a top 5 coach. And I know even Alabama fans are like, no, he's not.
In his 2 years at Alabama, Cignetti has been better. I guess you could say Ryan Day has been better. I guess you can say Kirby has been better.
Marcus Freeman probably
missed the playoffs last year.
He missed, but DeBoer did in year 1, and Freeman played for a national championship.
Yeah, but Freeman and DeBoer would be maybe on the same line.
I would say Lanning. Lanning was the number 1 seed last year. I know they were one and done, but they won the Big Ten. They were undefeated.
Yeah.
They were back this year, back to back, so 2 playoff appearances. So I would say Lanning.
Yeah. Just for the record, we're 193 away from a new season. So when we say last year now, it needs to be the most current year. But, Lanning's had some postseason issues, but he's probably ahead of DeBoer. But there's a handful.
Yeah, that's it. It's maybe 5 or 6. But I would say Washington year 1 for DeBoer was a B+, 11 wins. Year 2 was an A+, winning the Pac-12 and then going and winning or playing for a national championship, winning a playoff game. Year 1 at Alabama is interesting. I mean, I don't know what you guys would give him. I'd give him a B-. It's such a difficult follow. You had such a schizophrenic quarterback in Jalen Milroe, and you still were the last team out. Look, there were a couple of head-scratching losses, but then in year 2, and we've talked about this, like how it's not a B+, going from 9 wins to 11 wins and, playing for the SEC championship in a crowded, really, really top-heavy SEC, and then going on and winning a playoff game on the road against Oklahoma, how that's not a B+ is baffling.
Yeah, I mean, another thing to me is, and I've talked about this on our shows, with Jay Coker last call, that it's not like Alabama's rolling with Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Texas, Ohio State, Michigan money. So whether we like it or not, the way that it works right now is like every other business, and that's where you have to go out and pay for talent. And we're kind of, I don't want to say we're low, but we're not there.
Yeah,
I think he's done a good job. I mean,
there are some people, to your point, that are the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And then there are some people that are the Yankees and the Mets. Mm-hmm. And then there are some, they're the Braves.
Yeah.
You can be really good, spend a lot of money, and be really good. And for the Braves to win a World Series now, they're going to have to hit on a lot of players.
Yeah, right. They're going to have to get lucky. The injuries are part of that too. Alabama dealt with that last year because you don't have the depth throughout the roster.
Yeah. So I guess my question is, trajectory-wise, it sounds like it's going pretty good.
Yes, it's obviously heading in the right direction. Do you kind of agree, though, if he was a little more abrasive, had more of a personality, the 9 to 11 wins would seem different? I think there's such a, not only the transition from the greatness of Nick Saban, but the personality of Nick Saban to Kalen DeBoer.
So here's what happened yesterday. Joel Klatt, friend of the show, we'll stay in the double box here so that we can get a reaction as you listen to it for the first time. So we'll focus on LT's reaction of all the stuff he just laid out there. Here's Joel Klatt's take on Kalen DeBoer.
They have quickly descended into a place that when I think about their conference, I don't think about them initially, and I don't even think about them in the top 3. When I think about the SEC, I immediately think of Georgia and Texas, and oh, by the way, Alabama. Alabama is my stock down team. The reality is that they are coming off back-to-back 4-loss years, that the best part of their team last year was Ty Simpson, by a wide margin, by the way, and they're losing Ty Simpson. I don't love what's going on down there. They were blown out by Georgia in the SEC championship game. They were blown out by Indiana. And it wasn't just that Indiana had a great day. No. Indiana did whatever they wanted to do. They ran the ball 50 times straight at Alabama. This is not the Alabama of 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and certainly not 10 years ago. So they have been trending down, and that trend, I think, is going to continue. They've got to figure out their quarterback for next year. Is it going to be Austin Mack or Keelan Russell? 0 starts between them in an era in which experience is everything that you need at that position. They're losing starters out there. Isaiah Horton, he's gone. Wilkin Formby, the guard, he's gone. I don't see this team turning it around. Like I said, I think about the SEC. I think about Georgia and Texas.
Okay, now some of that is true. It's not Alabama from 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Those are some of the greatest teams of all time in the history of college football. It's not Nick Saban's Alabama. It's not the same world anymore, though. The world changed in 2023.
I completely disagree with almost all of that. First of all, do you think Klatt even knew who Ty Simpson was coming into last season?
I don't want to say no, but
he had never started a game.
I lean more no than yes.
So I'm just saying, that was such an unknown last year, going from schizophrenic Jalen Milroe to Ty Simpson that nobody knew about. So, I think you can say that. But again, we didn't know how good Ty Simpson was going to be last year. You might have a better quarterback situation this year. You don't know. Isaiah Horton's another name he mentioned. Nobody had a lot of expectation from Horton coming from Miami. Indiana dominated almost everyone. What did they? They beat the hell out of Oregon worse than they did Alabama the very next week.
Yeah.
So, you could say that about Indiana and a lot of different teams. And for him to put Texas, I get Georgia. Georgia is the alpha right now of the SEC.
Alabama beat them, by the way, in Athens when they were healthy, when Alabama was healthy. Yeah.
Back-to-back years.
Yeah.
Texas, though, have they won an SEC championship?
No.
Were they in the college football playoff this year? No. I mean, so how do you automatically jump that it's Georgia, Texas, then Alabama? I think, like everybody would agree, Alabama has fallen. Would they have taken a step back even under Saban? Maybe. We don't know that. It is a different world.
I think the issue, though, to me, the worry anyway, is when you see Quay Russaw, James Smith go to Ohio State, Isaiah Horton's your best receiver coming back, and then he takes more money and goes to Texas A&M. Even Wilkin Formby, who wasn't fantastic, but he's still a starter, he's gone for money somewhere else. And then you got two guys coming back. I mean, it does feel a little bit like we're in some trouble here.
Well, let me ask you, though, if you're Alabama and you've got and you help me out, is Russaw and Yanze Pierre basically the same position?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you've got to choose and you could pay one the top level money, what they're asking, which one are you choosing?
Yeah, I mean the guy that stayed, but
Yanze Pierre, right?
But you need depth in these spots.
You do, but you can't
do
back
it today.
to the money thing. I can't pay both of these guys the top level money that they want. So I've got to choose between one or two.
Yeah,
which one
tough.
am I choosing? So that means Russaw leaving.
But I mean, people leave Georgia.
That's a tough decision. There are schools that can pay both of them.
Right.
But people are leaving Georgia and they're leaving Ohio State and they're leaving Oregon. I mean, they're leaving quality or the best programs out there for more money and more opportunity. So it's just not Alabama. Alabama, to your point a little bit ago, just doesn't have the money some of these other schools have right now.
Yeah, and they need to get it. I mean, it's there. It's just they got to go find it because it isn't going to come from $1 billion booster. But there's more Alabama has more fans than I'd say just about any other college
I think
team.
It's more difficult than you think, though. I mean, I just do. I mean, I think the economy's tough. I think when you go, because I think there's some Alabama fans out there, and if I'm stubborn on giving up my hard-earned money and you look at the product, it is different from what it was under Nick Saban. So it is difficult. Now, there's a flip side to that coin. If you give money, then you're going to have a better product.
Yeah, right. And I look at a school like Ole Miss. They're tired of losing, so they're putting money in. And LSU's going to be good. Where are they getting all the money they got now?
Well,
Lane Kiffin went there because he's not giving up his backup that's really good.
We learned yesterday the energy company that is multi-billion dollars for Louisiana Gas and Oil, whatever the name of it was, Woodbridge or whatever it was, Energy. Name on the jerseys now. That's where
it's coming from.
They've got some fuel money down in Louisiana.
Well, that's another thing I would bring up though. Like to Klatt and to these national guys that are dogging out DeBoer in Alabama right now. What has happened to LSU? What has happened to Michigan now that Harbaugh is gone? We're talking about teams that have fired their coaches this last year. So there are other programs that are in a much worse spot than Alabama. I mean, Alabama, if you're laying out the top 10 programs, and I know this is not a spot they want to be, but I think everybody would still consider Alabama a top 10 program.
Yeah, we'll look at actually Josh Pate's top 12 programs a little bit later on in the show as we sit here 193 days away. That wasn't the only clip on Kalen DeBoer yesterday. Another one after we tell you about our friends at Kalshi, where last night, right side of the Iowa State win was
I had
me.
that, yeah. I had that too, yeah.
Right side of the Duke blowout.
I had that, yeah. That was nice. I like those.
My only loss last night on my position on Kalshi was McNeese State. They didn't win by as many as I thought they would win. So did Jim, do you think, in Jim's world, do you think Jim had 2 wins and 1 loss last night? Or do you think
I think he probably did a 3-team parlay.
Yeah, a little combo is what they call it on Kalshi. And I put all 3 of them together, and I was on the right side of 2. And
so this is difficult enough to hit 1 game, much less 3 together. But look, you can trade however you want on Kalshi. It is now legally available in all 50 states. We mentioned that 2024 presidential election. That's when they really started to brand out. I saw when the British are going to invade again. That was one of the Kalshi commercials. You can actually take a position on that. So not only politics, pop culture, but also sports. Again, they trade legally in all 50 states. What really makes Kalshi so unique, they also are very active in these other categories. If you want to go put a position right now on the Oscars, Best Picture, Best Actor, you can actually do that. Every position is listed in percentages. Kalshi does an incredible job on showing you what you will win on whatever position you take. Very important to download Kalshi right now. Put in that code TNR. That's going to help us out, but it's also going to help you out. You'll get $10 when you trade $10 from our friends at Kalshi. Again, download Kalshi today. Put in that code TNR. It's our friends at Kalshi.
Joel Klatt, you heard his words. Not going to let you hear Stephen A. Smith. Does anybody do a Stephen A. Smith impersonation behind the glass? Anybody got a good Stephen A. Smith?
Stephen A. Smith. I can't do it, but he is starting to drive me nuts.
He was on Feinbaum yesterday.
Very talented guy, but I think now he is just talking out his ass to talk out his ass.
Quote, I'm not a fan of Kalen DeBoer as the successor to Nick Saban. I have no problem with him as a football coach, he said on Feinbaum yesterday. There was just something that's been missing, and it's always been missing. I knew it from day one because when he got there, I just saw a different persona than what Nick Saban brought to the table. And when you have somebody that's successful, I don't want to say you want to copycat, but you certainly want somebody that identifies with who Nick Saban was, what worked for him, what made it successful, and you want to try to duplicate and replicate those habits to some degree. I didn't see that in Kalen DeBoer. I have no doubt that Alabama may have lost to Indiana, okay? But there's no way in hell you can convince me that a Nick Saban team was going to wave the white flag and just basically surrender to an ass-kicking, excuse my language, because that's what it was when they went up against Indiana losing 38-3.
Yeah, well, you were in Santa Clara. I think Nick Saban waved the white flag against Clemson. I mean, they got dick kicked that night.
Yeah,
so
that,
look,
that,
I mean, it
but
happens.
They kept fighting to the end. I mean, Tua was still throwing the ball. They were moving the ball down the field to the end. They just couldn't get it in the end zone.
It's different. And look, I mean, it's tough enough for Greg Byrne to go out and do his job and to be able to hire the next guy after Nick Saban. How are you going to thread the needle? And we got to hire the best fit that is Nick Saban-like. That makes no sense to me. You go out and you get the best coach available.
Yeah, because Dan Lanning wasn't leaving Oregon. I think they actually asked, are you interested? No, I'm not interested.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, look, you dodged some bullets. Mike Norvell was one of those guys.
Mike Norvell.
Lane Kiffin's a lot that people wanted, and I know the jury's still out on him, but Lane Kiffin's never won anything.
Still hasn't won a playoff game.
Yeah, right.
I think the point, though, and I agree with them on this point, and a lot of the people that are on our shows and ask us about Alabama want to know how come you got 6 coaches in the college football playoff and 5 of them are Alabama coaches, and we hire the guy that isn't an Alabama coach.
But which one of those guys were going to leave the job they were at to come and Pete Golding would have, but
Lane Kiffin would have, but I'm not going there.
And we still don't know anything about Pete Golding.
I mean,
Alabama fans wanted Pete Golding out as defensive coordinator.
Well, we wouldn't have hired him, but my point is, I don't know if it would have been Dan Lanning or not.
Dan Lanning was asked if he had any interest, and he does not.
Obviously, Kirby's not leaving.
Yeah, I would. If it was me, I would have given Kirby $20 million to come over. But
he's not going to leave Georgia.
Probably not.
His school.
But I mean, you've got other coaches, the Miami coach, the Georgia Tech coach, like that. You talk about the culture.
Well, Cristobal's not leaving Miami. That's his school. He left Oregon to go there. He chose
Brett
to go
Key
there.
and Georgia Tech shit the bed at the end of the year.
Yeah, and that's his school.
But still Georgia Tech.
But still.
I get it, but it's still Washington, and they were playing for a national championship. I just hope for Kalen DeBoer's sake, and I know people out there are going to be like, this is the Alabama coming out in him. I really hope that he can win a national championship in the next couple of years to shut everyone up.
Oh, I'd love that.
Well, I mean, just because he's a hell of a coach, and
he's a great person too. I mean,
he is, and look, he's somewhat boring. I mean, we listen to him. I mean, but there's some really good coaches and good people that are boring. Doesn't make him a bad person.
I'm interested on this. If you because money is such a big part of this, and Alabama turned a $69 million profit in football, but you can't turn around and give that straight to the players as much as you would like. There's bills to pay and all of that. But there have been a lot of successful just Nick Saban players who have gone to the NFL. I saw where Jameis Winston has given $1 million to Florida State. I wonder, and I don't know the answer to this.
And you know what? He should.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got it, look what Florida State did for his career.
And I would imagine there's some tax write-offs to that or something that you can do. I don't know. I don't know the answer to this. I'd like to know the answer to this. And if you have information on this, please send it to me. Let me know. And Mick, maybe you know. Do people who have gone on and had great NFL careers sign big NFL contracts? Have they thrown $1 million, $2 million back into Alabama's NIL?
But it would be an interesting angle to take where you go to the Devontae Smiths of the world, and I'm just using him as an example. And
I don't feel like you should have to go to him.
You probably shouldn't, but if you could get a guy that has a loud voice amongst those guys that's like, hey, man, I gave $1 million and we're setting up this part of a collective that is former players. You know, if Nick Saban reached out to former players, and again, you might should have to do it, but you might be at the point where you have to do it. But if Nick Saban organized this, and I'm not saying he's going to or he needs to, but if he reached out to former players and they started giving $1 million or $2, $3 million, whatever the number is, I think it would probably domino.
I mean, you think about if Jameis Winston can give $1 million, what could Marcel Darius? Could he? Could
Derrick
could
Henry?
Diggs? Could Surtain? Could Devontae? Could Jalen? I mean, just a number of guys who. And listen, I think those guys are probably going to make it to the NFL regardless.
But I don't know what's enough now. You know, it was when Ohio State won the first, where we attached money to it, $30 million, as everybody talked about that roster. We had the soundbite yesterday from Todd Golden talking about Kentucky basketball, $22 million. So I don't know where the numbers go from here. So, like, if you get 15 or 20 former Alabama players to give $1 million or $2 million, how far does it go now?
Well, there's a couple questions there. First off, I was talking to Chris Lowe, and we were kind of trying to figure out, are we really following the $20 million rule that's supposedly out there? Because nobody is, right? Yeah. That's the first thing. The second thing is that if nobody's following the rules, then why aren't we finding more money to spend? We're paying Nick Saban $500,000. Everybody wants a picture with Nick Saban. Everybody wants to meet Nick Saban. I mean, he's a legend, right?
And will always be.
The spending a lifetime in minor league sports, you figure out how to make money. You're better at doing things. I go to the concessions and they got the band in there, and it takes me an entire quarter to get a Coke for my bourbon. Like, that's not how you make money. You make money by maybe you charge more, but
so are you telling us now that you're like Bob Uecker? Do you drink bourbon while you're doing your call?
No, I'm talking about at the football games.
We'll talk more about.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, we'll talk more about what Alabama needs to do. Let's go commercial free to our buddy Marty Smith, who's kind with his time. He's joined us. He's going to hop on with us now from his friendly confines, back from Daytona. Marty Smith on the Shannara Hotline. Marty, man, welcome into the show. And first off, before we get to whatever these guys want to talk about, I jumped into the rabbit hole the other night after I watched the Twins on Thursday, and then the great Fox special afterwards on We've Lost Dale Earnhardt, and I saw a lot of old Marty Smith clips and stuff. I was there that day at the track covering it for the local NBC affiliate. Hard to believe it's been 25 years since that race at Daytona that we lost Dale Earnhardt.
Indeed. Good morning, boys. Forgive my appearance. I have a scratched cornea.
Oh, how'd you get that?
And I don't know how. I'm going to the eye doctor. I've been to many doctors already, but I'm going to the eye doctor as soon as I get off with you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happened. Originally, I thought it was pink eye. Jimmy Johnson asked me, hey, did you scratch your butt and then your eye? What's wrong with you, man? But then I went to the infield hospital at Daytona, and they put this dye in my eye and said, no, you don't have pink eye. You have a scratched cornea.
Yeah.
And that was Saturday, and I'm still not seeing a whole lot of improvement. So I'm going to go figure it all out this afternoon.
And Forrester, our old local TV photographer, I think there were the original HDMI lights or something. I burned mine one time.
Did you really? Burnt your cornea?
Yeah, and it was off of it was actually at Talladega. I did a 2-hour special, and the light was too close to the camera or something, and it was the most painful thing. It felt like I had gravel in my eye.
That's what I feel right now.
Yeah.
Exactly how I feel right now, and I don't understand it, but I don't like it. I don't fancy myself as the toughest guy, but this is annoying anyway.
Yeah, you think Earnhardt Sr. would scoff at you guys for talking about Dunaway hurt his eyes and light?
He won a pole with a broken sternum. Ricky Rudd raced the Daytona 500 with his eyeballs taped open with duct tape. Yeah, they're not hearing our mess. But, yeah, it is impossible to believe, done away, that it's been 25 years since we lost Big E. I, too, was there that day as a young little cub reporter for NASCAR.com, and that day lives in Technicolor for me. There's so many moments from that day that stand out in vivid detail, including running out to pit road right at the end of the race because I had been charged with interviewing Rusty Wallace because he had another near miss. Rusty never won the 500. And he unbuckled his seatbelts and said, "Get your ass down there and check on Dale." And I went back in to ask my question to Rusty, and he said a few choice words and said, "I told you, get your ass down there and check on Dale." I say, "My daddy telling me that." So I said, "Yes, sir," and took off running down toward turn 4. And I got stopped by the sea of law enforcement officials. Turned around and went back to the media room because Rusty was gone at that point. And a lot of very seasoned, tough-edged reporters were completely stone-faced. Many of them were sobbing, and that's when it became very real to me that this might be a bigger deal than just a broken arm or broken collarbone or something. And then I remember walking out in the garage area and even seeing guys like Danny Earnhardt and Tony Jr. and Tony Sr. walking around like zombies, just listless and completely flummoxed about what was happening real time. And I walked out to a rental car. Back then, Dunaway, you'll remember this, the old Benny Kahn Media Center.
Yep.
That was about as, it held about 20 people. It was a teeny little room. And we used to be able to park right outside of that building. And I walked out, my pretty little wife, we'd been married about 9 months at that time, was sitting with her feet on the dashboard of the rental car reading a book. And I knocked on the passenger window, and she looked up at me, and her face shifted, and she said, "Are you okay? You are white as a ghost." I said, "Baby, I think Dale Earnhardt's dead." And I don't know that for certain, but I'm pretty sure based on what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing. And we're going to be here for a long time. So if you want to take the car and go on back, go ahead. I'll figure out how to get back. And ultimately go back in. Shortly thereafter, Mike Helton walks in, says those words. "This is undoubtedly the most difficult announcement I've ever had to make. But in the accident in turn 4, we've lost Dale Earnhardt." Mm. And I was holding, there were a couple young, aspiring, up-and-coming Busch Series drivers at the time. One, his name was Hank Parker Jr. And Hank was one of Dale Jr.'s best friends and a great friend of mine, even to this moment. And I had Hank Jr. on a landline phone in my right hand. And then there was another young up-and-coming Busch Series driver named Jimmy Johnson in my who was on the cell phone in my left hand. And I held those two phones up to the speaker in the ceiling of the media room. And they both listened to that announcement through those phones while I was holding those phones up in the air. And then I didn't leave until 2:30 in the morning, something like that. Laney was with me, and we were driving to the crest of the Turn 4 tunnel. And that song by Leanne Womack, "I Hope You Dance," came on the radio. Mm. And to this day, if it comes on, I hit the change button.
So 2001, Marty, forever ago, and it was just a different world. Yesterday we lost a really great American in Robert Duvall at 95. That is an incredible life, but social media blew up. You're very involved in social media. Dale Earnhardt Sr. at 50 years old, if this happened in the day of social media, I mean, can you even imagine what today would be like?
I can't. Yeah, he was 2 months and 2 weeks shy of 50 when he passed. And I think about, McGee and I were talking about this on Saturday. He, of course, was in that Fox show and did a phenomenal job with his perspective of that day. And I had done a piece for SportsCenter trying to, in some way, define the fact that somebody that was larger than life the way Dale was, you still feel him in every corner of the sport. Even 25 years later, he's everywhere. His presence is palpable. And he and I were talking about whether or not what could be comparable. And the only thing that I can think of in terms of the outpouring and the lasting legacy years and years after their death is Kobe. And, Kobe tragically died in a helicopter accident. I think what separates Dale a little bit is the fact that he died in the last corner of the race that defied and defined him his whole career. And his son and his buddy that he gave a chance to make it were in front of him, racing to the checkered flag, following an accident that just didn't look aesthetically that bad. And because it was before social media, you're talking about a time, Lance, when magazines were still king and newspapers were still king. And you saw 1951 to 2001 with Dale Earnhardt's headshot on the cover of every single one of them across the world. And it's just impossible. I always say this about Dale. He's the man every woman wanted and every man wanted to be. And Superman doesn't die. And it's just still really hard to grasp and to properly place and define the magnitude of it. Again, you still feel him everywhere, man. At Daytona, there was 3 flags all over that property.
He was such a good businessman on top of being a great race car driver. He kind of definitely changed the business. When I think of Dale Earnhardt, though, like those iconic moments when he flipped his car at Talladega and then duct taped it and ran around on the track, what do you think if you were telling somebody younger, because I've done this myself, where you're like, hey, this guy 25 years ago, better than anything that's out there right now. What's the most iconic moment that you remember him being involved in?
Him winning the 500 in 98. It's the most iconic moment in the history of the sport. When the Super Bowl eludes someone for their entire career. The only way I could equate it, trying to be analogous to viewers who might not be NASCAR people, it would be like somebody making it to the Super Bowl double-digit times, right, and not winning it. And then ultimately on their 20th try, they get a ring. That's as analogous as I could get it. Or, I mean, you kind of look at Rory McIlroy winning the Masters this year. It eluded him for all of those years. And everybody asked every single year, myself included. I literally asked Rory for 10 consecutive years, what has to happen for you to win it this time? And he did. But Dale's mystique was different than any athlete I've ever covered. And so when he won it in 98, and every single person involved in the sport that was on pit lane in that moment lined up down the entire pit lane to congratulate him real time as he was making his way to victory lane. That had never happened before, and it had happened since. And that just speaks to his influence. It speaks to the reverence and respect that everybody had and has for him still. He was just a bad MFer, man. The intimidator thing was real. He was scary as hell. And I hate it for Junior more than anything, that Junior didn't have the opportunity to grow that relationship with his dad as an adult and as a peer. because Junior had finally gotten what he spent his whole life coveting, and it was cut short like that. That is a tragedy that I still can't really wrap my hands around.
My dad loved Dale Earnhardt, and my family, my dad loved Dale Earnhardt. He loved George Jones, Bear Bryant, and then me. I was fourth. I couldn't make the medal stand with Dad.
Man, I would have got along great with your dad. We'd have been peas in a pod.
He passed this summer, and he was he loved Dale Earnhardt, and he didn't go back to watching. He could not bring himself to watch, and he never went back. My mom would have the race on, and he would go out to the garden or he'd go outside, and he could never go back to watching. It impacted some fans that they never got over that. Is that right?
Oh, and still aren't. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, if you go out into the infield to one of those RVs that's flying the 3 and you just ask about him, it's going to elicit emotion in those people and tears in a lot of cases. And it's definitely not the same. It's not the same that it was. And I don't know that it ever will be the same that it was, because he had this everyman relatability, because this is a guy that had a 9th grade education and, to the point made earlier, rewrote the business of the sport alongside Jeff Gordon. Those two together were catalysts for drivers for the next 15 years plus to make so many millions of dollars and fly around on private aircraft and on and on and on. It's because of those two. And I just, I don't know, how can we get back to that? It'll never be that again. Now, that doesn't mean the sport won't be great again. I mean, I love the sport still. I consume it passionately still. But it does not feel like that anymore. When I walked into the racetrack in 2000, it felt like I'm telling you, it felt like the biggest thing on earth. And so we'll see what happens as they progress forward. The lawsuit's over now. A lot of dirty laundry's been washed. And so hopefully there can be a recalibration of what makes the sport so great.
Because you are the 5-tool player of ESPN, I want to transition to college football, Marty. And we were talking earlier, some big national voices very critical of Kalen DeBoer yesterday, including Joel Klatt, Stephen A. Smith. The three of us, big DeBoer fans, loved the hire from Greg Byrne back in the day. I mean, the most difficult follow-up job in the history of sports following Nick Saban. Kalen DeBoer, where are you on DeBoer right now, and do you ultimately think he is the right guy for this job?
I think he's tremendous. I am a huge fan of the way that he came into Alabama and didn't try to be baby Saban. He came in and immediately injected his own culture. He has won a ton of football games. The Rose Bowl was a boat race, and he'll be the first to tell you that that ain't gonna work. And I feel like he's recruiting at a really high level. I feel like sometimes people want to try to define things that are attempted to be defined on face value, which are wins and losses and scoreboards. And I understand in the Southeastern Conference, especially at Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, you are defined by who you beat, the stage on which you beat them, and all of that. That's the ultimate barometer for whether or not Kalen DeBoer is successful at Alabama. And they didn't get it done in 2025. But to try to run him out the door, to me, is completely and utterly ridiculous and asinine. You tell me, if it's not him, who will they get that will come to Tuscaloosa right now, okay, Is it going to be Dan Lanning, who to me is the only answer? That's the only answer, because Kirby ain't coming. And so tell me who that guy is that's going to appease people who want to run a guy that is fielding a competitive team, a winning team, who's winning in the fourth quarter, got his ass kicked in the Rose Bowl, and that's what people are looking at. Tell me who it is, Lance. Who is it?
Oh, hey, look, they couldn't get a guy, and you talk about running him off. You run off DeBoer after the success. I know it's not Nick Saban's success, but the success he's had, who in the hell wants to take that job?
The college football that Nick Saban coached is not the college football Kalen DeBoer is coaching.
100%.
They're not the same thing. And nobody's looking at context. Everybody's looking at outcome. And if I do, Kalen DeBoer took Washington to the national championship game, and then he followed the greatest to ever do it. He's been there for 2 seasons. I don't know. I haven't looked. What's his overall record at Bama, boys? What is it?
20-8.
Yeah.
Okay, 20-8. 20-8 in the Southeastern Conference. It's pretty sporty.
Well, Marty, think about this. Last team left out of the college football playoff in year 1 with 9 wins. Schizophrenic quarterback in Milroe. Year 2, plays for the SEC championship. Technically the 1 seed in the regular season with 1 loss. Goes to the college football playoff. Wins a game on the road. And now people are dogging him out because he lost to Indiana. Everybody lost to Indiana.
And everybody lost to Indiana convincingly except for a couple of teams.
Yep.
Look, again, that Rose Bowl ain't it. It just ain't. And again, I think I've heard so many coaches say this, and you guys, I don't know where your perspective is on this, but we're in an era right now where the only thing that matters to anybody is, do you make the college football playoff? And do you – I mean, they made the college football playoff, so I guess it's now even greater than that.
Yep.
That was not the college football that so many legends coached. And so it's just an interesting the definitions of what is successful are not the same that they once were.
Marty Smith with us, kind with his time. Hope the eye appointment goes well today.
Me too.
And we look forward to seeing you down the road, man. Thanks for the context on DeBoer and the walk down memory lane on Dale Earnhardt.
What do y'all think about that, though? Y'all got to go to break right now?
No. We're break free so far.
So tell me this.
Brown's the one that gets all antsy about breaks, so he's not here today.
So break this down then. This is a broader scope conversation than simply. And again, I was traveling. I was paying no attention to what anybody said. I don't even know what Stephen A. said or Joel Klatt said. I don't know any of that.
Yeah. Klatt says trajectory is down, doesn't think about Alabama when he thinks about the SEC, paraphrasing. And then Stephen A. Smith just doesn't think DeBoer's the guy, doesn't have to follow Saban, doesn't have the same mystique, that Saban stuff.
Who does?
Nobody.
It's an impossible follow.
Bear Bryant probably in the conversation for mystique. All right? But Nick Saban is the greatest of all time. And that is, we try to throw this GOAT stuff on a lot of different people. Nick Saban is that guy. And if you look at the history of the guy who followed the guy, it's very rarely very pretty. And all that DeBoer has done is come in there and field an incredibly competitive football program in a time when there are no rules, when there is unregulated free agency, and guys that used to come to Alabama and sit for 3 years, Deshaun hand, you name it. These guys that sat for 3 years and then were first-round draft picks, they ain't sitting no more. There's too much money to be made. So, I mean, I'm just that's just not though. I don't view it the same way that I guess some other people do, but I think the guy's doing a damn great job.
Yeah, like I think if you look in the SEC right now, over the 2 years he was there, outside of Kirby Smart, who could you say cut and dry has done a better job than Kalen DeBoer? Like you couldn't. I mean, Lane Kiffin's been to one playoff, but he wasn't there with the team. Mike Elko's been to one, but they didn't do anything. They lost at home.
Heupel's been to one.
Yeah, Sark's been to one, but
Sark's been to one. I mean, those are really good football teams, dude. This is not a league that you walk into going, okay, if you look down the schedule, all right, I have 8 conference games. Yeah, I'm going to win that one. I'm going to win that. Like Heupel can beat your ass on any given Saturday, right? Eli Drinkwitz on any given Saturday. And it almost happened this year for Alabama because if Ty Simpson doesn't make the greatest throw of his life on, 4th and 27 or something like that?
Yep.
Threw it in a bucket. Football is hard. And especially in a league now where you have you have financial parity in a lot of ways, so you have talent parity in a lot of ways, and each, when it's unregulated free agency and pay for play, it's just crazy. So I don't know, man. I think the guy's doing I think he's doing an awesome job.
Marty, safe travels to you, man. We hope to see you soon. I guess the next time we'll see you in person, maybe Tampa for SEC Media Days. Or maybe Talladega. Will you come to Talladega, you think, in April?
I don't know. Possibly.
Okay.
That's late April, right?
Yeah, April 27th. Let us know. If you're coming to town, let us know.
I think I might be down there, but I'm pretty sure I might be in Athens, Georgia, because Aldean's playing at Sanford Stadium.
Okay.
On the 26th, I think.
All right.
Anyway, love you, boys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Marty. Marty Smith on the Shannara Hotline. We appreciate him so much. And the show being brought to you by a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at Inverness Country Club. LT, tell us about Inverness.
Yeah, the Inverness Country Club, they've got memberships that fit everyone, from the golf, the tennis, the racket, to the social membership. Child care, also a big plus. You and your wife want a day of golf or tennis, guess what? Drop the kid, go have yourself a day on the court or course. Dinner with friends, knowing your kid is safe on site, massive plus. Whatever your interests are, you can find it at Inverness. They even have a vineyard club. Take a tour of the Inverness Country Club today. Call Aaron, tell the next round sent you, 205-991-8608, or online, iccalabama.com.
And our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing, Greg from Pell City there, big fan of Marty Smith, and we're a big fan of Greg. He'll help you save money on your roof, and it starts with a free no-cost roof inspection, 205-542-3531. He and his wife Andrea own the company, A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, locally owned for over 20 years. He's got some family-friendly financing available, but here's the best thing Greg does for you. He actually works with these insurance providers, these insurance agents so well that call him up before you ever make a claim on anything, and Greg will sort of walk you through the process, and he does a lot of the work himself. Storm damage repairs, he's got a builder's license. He can handle that for you. Roof replacement when it ages out. He's got a soft wash program. If you're starting to sell your home, he can make it look beautiful, curb appeal, and all of that. Find out everything he can do for you at stormrestorationroofing.com. stormrestorationroofing.com. We'll get to our viewing menu coming up a little bit later on in the show. One more thing here before we get to the top of the hour. We talked a little Alabama football there, and some reaction to Kalen DeBoer going into year 3. Basketball last night. The Big 12 is, to me, in basketball what the SEC was last year in basketball and what I believe the SEC is in football. Last night you saw number 6 Iowa State beat number 2 Houston. 17-4 rally in the final 6 minutes, basically, to win that game for Iowa State by 3. In LT, they turn around, Houston does, after that road trip to Iowa State. Their next 2 games, home to Arizona and on the road at Kansas. Iowa State, after beating the number 2 team, they're on the road at BYU and then home to Texas Tech. That's a gauntlet, man.
The top of that league is absolutely incredible. And going back, and we touched on this yesterday, watching Texas Tech on the road beat Arizona. Arizona back-to-back losses after Barkley called it the Arizona Invitational. Now they drop from number 1 to number 4 in the poll. Number 1, Michigan, now they got to go on the road to West Lafayette as a 2.5-point favorite against Purdue tonight. But that game last night for Iowa State, and that's the atmosphere you want in college football or college basketball. I mean, that place, insane. Now they're 14-0 at home, but to be down 10 in the second half against that Houston defense, to only turn it over 3 times in 40 minutes and to win that game, with that 17-4 run to close it out, that was an incredible win for Iowa State.
Are you good at brackets, Mick? When we get to March Madness, can you pick a bracket? Because it seems to get tougher and tougher every year.
Yeah, I won back-to-back Maryland and Syracuse. I mean, it's like 22 and 20, or 02 and 03. And since then, I've been terrible. So.
Yeah. Well, I think it gets harder and harder every year.
Oh, it does. Like, watching Duke completely dismantle Syracuse last night, the biggest win in Duke-Syracuse history. They were talking about statistically Carlos Boozer, his 14th double-double last night, is having statistically a better year than Cooper Flagg. But I look back and, it's one of the reasons I lost the bracket challenge last year. I had Duke winning that. When you watch Cooper Flagg for the Mavs this year, how did they not win the championship last year? They had 5 guys on that roster that are now in the NBA.
Yeah, I saw him play 2 games in person at the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, and I thought Alabama played great just to make that game interesting.
I mean, Cooper Flagg could have gone for 40 every game.
Yeah.
I mean, easily. But, my point there is, Duke doesn't win it. You've got so many good teams. Just a couple of weeks ago, everybody said it was Arizona's year. Now Arizona's lost back-to-back. Could eventually lose 4 straight games when you just mentioned the schedule they've got coming up in their next 2. So, yeah, college basketball, this is going to round into a really, really fun year. And it looked like at the top there were 3 or 4 teams, but don't be surprised. Number 1 Michigan loses tonight.
Yeah, on the road at Purdue. We'll talk more about that game and a little side story to that and what's happening in the SEC a little later in the show. More college football when we come back. Show being brought to you by the great folks at Hoover Toyota. Man, we have fallen in love with this place. It starts with the customer service. The Toyota car, winner at Daytona, their trucks, it's the truck on the road now that everybody wants. My buddies did their research, and they've gone and bought the Tundra now. But customer service at Hoover Toyota is where it starts.
I was in Hawaii about this time last year. You lived in Hawaii for a little bit.
I did.
Do you remember the truck that everyone drives over there?
Like the small pickup truck?
It's the Tacoma.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a Toyota on the island.
Yeah.
The reliability, the safety, it holds value. 3 key ingredients I wanted when I bought Leighton her car back in December of 2024. I purchased a car in October. My ex-wife just got the Sequoia a few weeks ago. Great customer service. The customer service for over 20 years. Their philosophy to give information to their customers. That's why they offer the Red Carpet program. They give you ways to let your friends and family experience an amazing shopping experience with their referral program. You mentioned Harold earlier. Where are you on your journey right now?
Oh, I love talking to him. I've talked twice. Haven't pulled the trigger yet because he's a no pressure guy.
He is. He's a no pressure guy.
I'm waiting for the right moment to pull the trigger.
You will find it. Our friends at Hoover Toyota, the inventory incredible, the great pricing, the great on-site financing. Get in and see those fine folks. Highway 150. Tell them the next round sent you. You can view everything online as well. Go to HooverToyota.com.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, whether it's low testosterone, you need a testosterone pattern, maybe prostate health, you've got some concerns there, or you just want to be smart about it as you age from your 20s to your 30s and 30s to 40s and so on in life. Prostate health is so important, guys. It impacts every one of us. And at Urology Centers of Alabama, they can stay on top of all your urological needs. They've been doing it over 70 years here in the great state of Alabama, 16 locations. You can find out everything they offer, and it's a litany. It's a long list of things they offer for you at urologycentersalabama.com. urologycentersalabama.com. 205-930-0920 to make the appointment today. Everything from prostate health to kidney stones, vasectomies, and everything in between, they handle it at urologycentersalabama.com.
Hop in. Injured in an Uber or Lyft? Here's the problem. Was it the driver's fault? The other car? The app company? Good luck figuring that out while you're trying to heal. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys, they've got a guy for rideshare accidents. And here's the best part. They don't get paid unless you do. You heal. They fight. One call, 659-777-7777. Or visit alexwins.law. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys. Because rideshare accidents need an experienced team. Physical office is Birmingham.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger, made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the next round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time. It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Mick Gillespie in for Brownie, who's back with us tomorrow on this Fat Tuesday. We start the Lenten season tomorrow. Mick was asking, what am I giving up? I'm not going to give up anything this year. I'm going to add, which I think is something that as long as you're spending time with in thought with God and the Lord, that it's good. I'm going to try to go to the gym. Did you have something you're giving up in mind as you brought that up?
Yeah, Coker and I talked about on our show, which I think will come out today, what we were giving up for Lent, and it's not going to be alcohol. So we kind of debated that, and then we said maybe we could have a competition on if we did pick that, and then we realized that we both probably wanted to lose that competition. So I don't know. I mean, I love the idea of working out every day.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to do something that was like health oriented for 40 days. I don't know that because of work, you know, it's hard not to drink.
Do you think you can make it 40 days?
Of going to the gym every day or running or doing something athletic every day, it's going to be hard. That'd be harder on me than giving up drinking for 40 days.
Yeah.
That's easier for me to do.
So I'm on day 21.
Yeah.
Obviously, this doesn't
coincide
with Lent. I am going to add as well. I have started reading this year.
Oh, wow.
I just finished my first book 2 days ago. It took me about, on and off, reading 20, 30 pages. It took me roughly 3.5 weeks. And I've already started my second book.
Oh, wow.
So I'm already
so
3
you're
chapters in.
One book down already.
One book down, 3 chapters in.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to read at least 20 pages a day for the next 40 days.
Lance's Book Club.
How about that?
Has that cut down on your number of movies you watch every day?
No, I probably watched 7 or 8 this weekend. I watched last night The Secret Agent, which I was talking to Tyler about it. It's one of the Best Picture nominations. And he said, how was it? And I said, it was good, but it's a really difficult watch because it's slow moving. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes, and it's all in Portuguese.
Ow.
So it's all subtitled. But, it's a good, solid movie, a good 70s period piece. But it's a tough watch.
Enjoy your Fat Tuesday, however you're celebrating, and then the Lenten season, which starts tomorrow. We just mentioned with Marty Smith when he was on the show about Talladega coming up. LT is going to tell us about the great folks with Hemphill and his lock in a second, but I want to remind you that Talladega Racing, there's nothing like it on the world, and you can get your tickets right now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, 877-GO-TO-DEGA. The Jack Links 500 is Sunday, April the 27th. So the race weekend is April 25th through the 27th at wild, unpredictable super speedway racing that you get at Daytona and Talladega. But at Talladega, it's even crazier with those high banks and the wide track, and it is unbelievable racing where you can easily go 3, sometimes 4 wide. It is great racing, and you can be there for all that and upgrade to the garage experience, the most immersive garage experience in NASCAR. Watch them work on the cars in the Garage Bay area. Go to the Victory Lane, the Mobile One Victory Lane there. It's all part of your upgrade to the garage experience with Talladega. Jack Links 500 weekend. Get your tickets now. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Our friends at Hemphill bring you Lance's Lock.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to see our friend Chad Rhodes. He dropped by yesterday at the studio. We had a little lunch. Just great people. Chad, Andrew, Adam, all the guys at Hemphill Services. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954. If you experience plumbing, heating, cooling, any of these issues, home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com. They bring you Lance's Lock. 2-1 yesterday. We did have Duke. We had Iowa State. We had one total that didn't come through. We lost by 1.5 points there. So over the last 2 days, 8-2, very close to 10-0 for you. But we have got more college basketball up and available, including a free play every single day at lanceslock.com. Always brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services.
Brett McMurphy on 3 Sports has his bowl projections out and the teams to make the college football playoffs. We love to do this, Mick, where we say if this team ends up in this bowl game, are they happy, not happy? It's hard to do anybody to be happy in the SEC unless they're in the playoffs. Projections for Alabama, since we're talking about that. Where do you think Brett McMurphy has Alabama projection? First of all, I'll ask you, do you think Brett McMurphy on 3 Sports has Alabama as a playoff team or not?
No. He's probably got Alabama in the Cheez-It Bowl or the Pop-Tart Bowl. No, I'm just kidding. Probably like one of the lower bowls. I don't think that he's got them in the college football playoffs.
Do you think Brett McMurphy has Alabama in the college football playoffs?
I do not. I'm going to be consistent on this. I think most national writers are going to have Alabama anywhere from 15 to 20, which is going to be in the 8-4 range. And I think it's going to be more of a Outback Bowl, whatever that bowl is now.
Duke's Mayo Bowl, Charlotte, Alabama, and Louisville.
I got Pop-Tarts, Cheez-Its, the other one I was
that's about 8-4.
It's about 8-4. Alabama fan base in the Mayo Bowl, Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to want to change. They will, like, it won't happen. Like, and nothing on field could get rid of Kalen DeBoer this year. But if they go 8-4 and he's getting mayonnaise poured on him, Alabama fans are going to want to change after 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just kind of the way it is.
Brett McMurphy's bowl projections, bowl, B-O-W-L, not bold. Auburn playoff team or not?
No.
Auburn bowl team or not?
Yes.
He has them going to a bowl game, the Texas Bowl versus Kansas State. Happy or not happy?
Mick, I don't know how you feel about this, but Auburn hasn't had a winning record or a losing record since 2020. We brought up the fact that without Gus Malzahn on the staff, they haven't had a winning record. Does it go back to 07, 08? What was the year? Something insane, but it's been a long, long time. So I think in year one, for Alex Golesh to come in, implement his culture, and get them winning games in the SEC. And I think a lot of this also depends, Dunaway. Let's just say they're 6-6 or 7-5 and they go to a Texas Bowl. How were they in those 6 or 5 losses? Were they competitive against Georgia and Alabama? So there's a lot that goes into it. But I think on the surface, getting back bowl eligible and having a winning season, that's definitely a step in the right direction.
Do you have a Golesh expectation in the first year yet? I mean,
I didn't think they were that far off last year, to be honest with you. I felt like Hugh Freeze in his body language and some of the things that he said put Auburn in a spot where they had to get rid of him. But I didn't feel like when I was watching them that they were really that far off. It kind of felt like a team that was maybe a year away. Now, they lost some of those players in the transfer portal, but I think that they're due for a decent season. I could see them winning 8 games.
That would be a big first year for Golesh there.
Yeah. I mean, look, he goes 8-4 and he's getting mayonnaise poured on him. Then I think the expectation is, well, damn, we went to 8 wins. Next year, we can be a playoff team.
And that could be tough, right? If you win 8 games. Because you go back and look at their season, they could have won 8 games this year. They couldn't put teams away.
Well, they start 3-0. They lose to Oklahoma, very controversial loss on the road by 1 possession. They lose in College Station to another playoff team by 1 possession. Georgia, they lose at home by double digits, but, if the ball is in to end the half, they win that game. I think we all agree with that. Then they lose to Missouri in double overtime. They lose to Vanderbilt in overtime. They lose to Kentucky by possession, Alabama by possession. So they were right there on the doorstep last year.
Happy or not, South Carolina in the Liberty Bowl.
I think South Carolina has to stomach the fact that this is kind of what they are. Mm-hmm. And, if they're winning 7 and sometimes 8, maybe 9 games, then that's a pretty good year for South Carolina. South Carolina just needs to realize who they are.
I look at South Carolina, and I'm always surprised at how when you expect them to fall off the ledge, they come back with a big win. They beat Clemson or somebody else. But the consistency's been tough.
Well, that's the thing.
I think their coach is good, though.
But when you almost every other year right now.
But when you think they're going to be bad, they're good. When you think they're going to be good, like last year, they were a fringe playoff team coming off a 9-win season with Lenore Sellers coming back at quarterback. And there were a lot of people that were like, that's going to be the dark horse in the SEC. And they end up going 1-7 in conference.
Yeah.
Florida, Wisconsin in the bowl in Tampa, ReliaQuest or whatever it is. That's the last fan base that's not in the playoffs that I think would be happy. They'd be okay with that, I think.
I think that they're excited about what John Summerall can do. I think there are questions with the quarterback position right now. Again, ironically, there weren't a lot of questions last year with DJ Lagway coming back, and he wasn't consistent at all. But I think both those fan bases, if Wisconsin is being realistic, getting back bowl eligible would be good for Luke Fickell. Now, back to our conversation yesterday, I think 6-6, 7-5, he's probably out. It probably would take 8+ wins to make that fan base say, okay, let's give him another year.
The rest of these non-playoff teams, not happy with where they are. In the Gator Bowl, SMU taking on Tennessee.
No, neither one. Rhett Lashley, had them playing for a conference championship 2 years ago. They were in a college football playoff. That's not going to be good for SMU. And then Josh Heupel. It seemed like it was really going in a good direction, and it's a good, solid program. But Tennessee fans want more than 8 wins. Tennessee's not South Carolina. Like, South Carolina needs to realize who they are. Tennessee should be playing for championships.
Do you think Joey Aguilar ends up getting approved, and is that good enough to put Tennessee back into the conversation, contending for the playoffs this year.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's getting approved, but Bediako. I mean, you look at it and it's become pro sports. I think he's going to be back there, and I know the Tennessee fan base well because I spent a lot of time in Knoxville, and they're starting to sour a little bit on Josh Heupel. I don't think it's everybody, and honestly I feel like the guy's done a really good job, but compared to where he was when they took the program over. But if they have a year where they're not at least competing for the college football playoff, they lose to Vandy again. I mean,
how many big games has he won when you look at it? Like last year, he was 0-4 against ranked teams. Like the Alabama win in Knoxville was huge.
2022.
Yeah. The Alabama win in 2024 was really big. But outside of that, help me out with some of the bigger wins.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Not a lot. Missouri in the Birmingham Bowl against Oklahoma State.
What's going to happen to Drinkwitz probably because it's unrealistic to think that Missouri's going to win 10-plus games, every 2 or 3 years. I think Missouri fans probably will get sick of winning 8 games and, sooner or later they're going to be like, we need to make a move.
Ole Miss in the Music City Bowl.
Oof.
How tough would it be on Pete Golding at that point?
Well, now that you have got Chambliss coming back, there's an expectation like, okay, we won 13 games last year. We were a play or two away from playing for the national championship. We should be back in the college football playoff. I don't think that's realistic considering that Ole Miss in our lifetimes, they just had the best season we've ever seen. And to follow that up with a new coach, I think that would be extremely difficult. If Ole Miss is realistic, I think 9 wins, even with Trinidad Chambliss, would be a good, solid first year.
This is Brett McMurphy's bowl projections out this morning on 3 Sports. Last non-SEC playoff team that goes to a bowl game, LSU versus Penn State in the Citrus Bowl or whatever they call that now in Orlando. That would be the first SEC team missing the playoffs, the highest rated non-playoff team.
And what bowl is that?
That's the Citrus.
Boy, that's a lot of head coaching money for a Citrus Bowl. When you look at Matt Campbell, what he's getting now at Penn State, what Lane Kiffin's getting at LSU. I think Penn State fans, I don't know. I think both fan bases are disappointed. I really do. Because you got Rocco Beck coming in, although he didn't have a really good season this past year, he's got a ton of experience. One of the top 3-4 experienced quarterbacks in college football this year. And coming into last season, Penn State, it was college football playoff or bust. So I think their expectation is to get there this year. They were there 2 years ago, and I think the same for Lane Kiffin in year one at LSU. We've used this comparison, and I don't know if you agree. I think Lane Kiffin at LSU is going to be kind of judged like Kalen DeBoer. Like year one, 9 wins probably isn't good enough.
You agree?
Yeah, and don't you feel like Lane Kiffin is in that spot in his career now where it's time to be the guy that everybody thought he was going to be? I mean, when you look at the Ole Miss team that he put together and got into the college football playoff, and then the way that they performed, I mean, they could have beaten anybody, right? They could have won it. They didn't, but they could have, and maybe if he was there, they would have. Now he's got all the resources of the LSU, oil money or whatever they're going to be doing. They're adding players, not losing players off the roster. Unlike Alabama, I just think that LSU is going to be right there this year. Just because of the amount of talent that they have. But I also think Penn State could be good. I mean, they had some injuries last year, and I still can't believe they fired James Franklin a year after being in the college football playoff when you look at the injuries that they were dealing with.
Yep. Okay, the 4 playoff teams and reaction to those 4 that don't make the bowls or the playoffs from Brett McMurphy's projection after I remind you the show brought to you in part by our friend Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys, a national firm with southern roots headquartered in Birmingham. For 25 years, Alexander's worked to grow his firm to over 150 lawyers, supported by 500 dedicated team members. Their elite trial lawyers have recovered over $2 billion by maintaining the core value that Alexander wanted to have in his firm: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. Alexander's mission: create that firm that can handle any issue that his community face. The firm now handles not only just personal injuries, but also claims on fire and storm damage, bad drug device claims, disability, workers' comp, and a lot of others. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. When you need a lawyer, call Alexander Shannara. You pay nothing unless they win the case. Mick, you're an old school SEC guy. If I told you the 4 SEC teams that made the playoffs were Georgia, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma. How would you feel about that? My initial blush is that looks a lot like the Big 12 and Southwest Conference and not a lot like the SEC.
Yeah.
But that would be the 4 SEC teams in there. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I don't think Texas and Oklahoma will make it. I think one of the two. Probably Texas, when you look at their roster. But, it'd be bad for Alabama not to be in there. I mean, just because we cover Alabama, and then they've kind of been the face of the franchise, the SEC, for a long time. But
So you said Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia.
Georgia, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma.
Okay.
Those are, according to Brett McMurphy, the 4 SEC teams.
That's
that make
not old
plays.
school SEC.
That is not old school SEC, is it?
No. I mean, this is going to be the thing. Like, all of the fan bases that have expectations to get to college football playoff in the SEC aren't going to get there. And whoever is out, whether it's, Alabama, that is going to look like a disaster. If Sark was to miss the college football playoff again, when do we start saying, what the hell's going on with Sark?
Especially now that he's got Will Muschamp as a defensive coordinator. Muschamp's going to make $2.7, $2.8, and $2.9 million.
That's a lot of money. A lot of money for an assistant.
Yep.
And you've also got Arch Manning, where Arch Manning was expected to be last year.
Right.
The way Arch was playing in the second half of the season, that is the Arch a lot of people believe that you would see in 2025 for the entirety of the season. And now you got that guy. So there are zero excuses for the Texas Longhorns.
We remember a legend in just a second after LT tells you about the great folks at Crane U. If you're looking, have you ever driven a crane, Mick?
No.
Listen,
I was in Key West, and I sat next to a guy at
I've
a
still
bar.
never been to Key West,
It's
by the way.
awesome,
I got to go.
That owned a crane company in Maryland, and he was telling me all about it. So I have a little insight on the crane game.
Yeah, that should be the place we go. Set up. Let's do a week's worth of shows from somewhere in Key
I would
West.
absolutely. What is is Hemingway still, or Sloppy Joe's still a big thing down
Sloppy Joe's. We could go to Captain Tony's. We could swing over to the Green Parrot. Spent a lot of time there this year.
Which was Mike Leach's place? Where
that was Captain Tony's.
Yeah.
His chair's still in there. And
is that like the perfect place for Leach?
It's like the Floribama, but if it was just like one little bar, But it has that good vibe to it, right? The big tree in the middle of the place.
See, I love places like New Orleans. There's a lot of people like Brown hates New Orleans. Dunaway.
Yeah, I love New Orleans. I don't love Bourbon Street.
Yeah, I just like the fact that everybody's in a good mood, and I would assume that's what you get at Key West, right?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's every year I go down and I have a fantastic time every time. I mean, just really laid back, and then you kind of get to know people down there too, which is crazy. I'll go in the stores and people remember me from the year before. Certain bars, the bartenders are still there. Some of the bartenders have been in these bars 20-some years. So it's just kind of that type of place.
Well, our man Scott has been in the crane business for over 20 years.
Nice.
Get the crane training you need today. If you're looking for that new career, need further training to advance your current one, our friends at Crane U. They offer the comprehensive state-of-the-art, fully stocked training facilities for mobile cranes, overhead lifts, or forklift training. If you want to use your own equipment, the team at Crane U will come to you. On-site, on-location training offered nationwide. Make your job easier, your job site safer. Crane U also offers certification and safety inspections to ensure the safest environment possible. Classes are available monthly, so call or visit our friends at Crane U. Very important. Mention the next round when you call and you talk to Fran or Nicole or any of the fine folks at Crane U. 10% off all the great services. 855-CRANE-U or craneu.com for more information.
And our friends at Bojangles, just a few more days through February 22nd to help out the Hardest Yard, the Greg Olson Foundation, and the Bojangles Foundation with the purchase of the heart-shaped Bowberry biscuit at Bojangles. You can swing by there for breakfast and grab those Bowberry biscuits shaped in a heart to help the Hardest Yard. It's a foundation that helps heart health and research in the communities that Bojangles serves. Enjoy the tasty Bowberry biscuit through February 22nd and help a good cause with our friends at Bojangles. It is Bow time. On this morning, we wake up, Jesse Jackson, age 84, dedicated his life to justice and equality. He's passed away today. George Barber, here locally in the Birmingham community, passing away today. A community builder, a visionary, a philanthropist, has the Guinness Book of World Records largest motorcycle collection in the world.
Have you ever gone and looked at that?
I have.
Yeah,
1,400 motorcycles.
It's incredible, that whole museum. I've taken Jack multiple times, and if you're just looking for something that is a big wow that you've never seen, kind of off the beaten path, check out that museum.
And Barber Dairies, he was the CEO of that, the family dairy operation there. Just such a big part of what he did. Both business-wise and with his philanthropy here in our area.
We grew up on his milk. Did you guys not at Thompson? I mean, that's a Barber's milk, and
that was the one we chose because it was local.
Yeah, and it was so long ago. I remember Monday through Thursday you had just the whole milk, but then on Friday you could mix it up with a little chocolate.
Yeah, a little chocolate milk there. So we'll have a chance to, when we get out to Barber Motorsports Park a little later this spring, to honor the life of George Barber, who has passed away, and the family, and our thoughts and prayers with them and all of his friends and business associates. And then nationally and internationally, actor Robert Duvall passing away. I mean, we named Harper after Harper Lee. I guess one of his first acting roles was Boo Radley.
Yeah, it was his first credited role in 1962, To Kill a Mockingbird. And Robert Duvall passes away at 95. And when you just look, and I want to go through some of the films that he's been in, because it is an incredible catalog. And I think you can make the argument only a handful of actors have the same, when you look at the resume of the top 3, 4, 5 films he was in, when you look at, and this is kind of cheating, but as Tom Hagen in The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2, but then you look at films like Apocalypse Now. But look, just going through it, he was in Bullet, maybe the greatest car chase ever with Steve McQueen, True Grit, the original with John Wayne, MASH, that led to the spinoff, the comedy series 1970, Robert Altman, really, really good film, is Major Frank Burns. The Godfather I mentioned, The Conversation, which is a really, really good film with Gene Hackman, The Godfather Part 2, Network, Apocalypse Now. I would put that as his third greatest film in my opinion.
Apocalypse Now?
Yeah. It's my favorite war film.
Yeah, it is Vietnam War, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Oof.
The smell of napalm in the morning.
It was a hard one.
It's a great beat scene. The Great Santini, which, have you seen The Great Santini?
I haven't seen that one.
Okay, he was nominated for Best Actor. Michael O'Keefe, who played Danny in Caddyshack, was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. It is his son. Blythe Danner was the wife. I remember watching it with my old man back in the day, but it is off the beaten path, a great movie.
What's the premise? Who is the Great Santini?
He is Bull Meacham. He plays a military guy, and he's just a hard ass on his family. He's a hard ass on everybody. A lot of life lessons in it. They relocate, I think, to like Charleston, South Carolina. I forgot the town. I haven't seen it in 30 years, but I'm going to watch it tonight more than likely. Tender Mercies, The Natural. We remember him as Max Mercy, the reporter in The Natural. Colors. So good with Sean Penn. Days of Thunder, cheesy movie, but very good as Harry.
Fantastic as Harry.
Falling Down, he was great in that. His final day at work, chasing around Michael Douglas, L.A. Sling Blade, he was in that. Movie. Yeah, The Apostle, which I've never seen The Apostle. I think that's what he won as Best Actor.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Other ones real quick. Open Range, very good, underrated Western. One of Brooks's favorite Christmas movie, Four Christmases. Played Vince Vaughn's dad. Was in The Road, too. Just great roles. He hasn't been in anything in 3 years, but what a fantastic career for Robert Duvall.
Yeah, shout out to our friend Meathead, Heath. We bartended at Boo Radley's. I had no idea that Robert Duvall played Boo Radley in the movie. I'm going to have to see this now.
Yeah,
that's a great movie.
Where is Boo Radley?
Obviously a great book.
Well, it was
still open?
Well, no, but it was. There was one in Mobile and one in Tuscaloosa. So it was a bar right next to 4th and 23rd.
I heard some stories.
Yeah.
At Boo Radley.
Good times. Jim, I wish we could have had you there.
Was it more interesting when the open sign flipped to close?
We never closed. It was before you had to close like that. You just stayed open.
Look at Robert Duvall in 1962 as Boo Radley. But you think if you would have seen that in the theater in 62, you're like, hey, that dude's going to be alive in 2026.
I'm going to name a bar after him. Yeah. After that character.
But what a career.
He was awesome.
Robert Duvall, everyone remembering him today. We'll do our viewing menu later on when we come back. We'll set the stage on a big night in SEC basketball for the Georgia Bulldogs. They're on the bubble now, and some other huge games going on, and a lot more college football. The show today being brought to you in part by our great friends at Odie's. LT, tell us about Odie's.
Yeah, we'll be out there tomorrow night, the original location in Crestline. I know our friend Mick has been to Odie's Team Trivia a handful of times. Just a great place to go, not only for the trivia, but also just to enjoy lunch or dinner. 2 locations now, the original in Crestline, also newest location in Edgewood. Fantastic food from Rodney Davis, almost 4 decades now. Live music every Friday and Saturday. Great place to watch all your college hoops. Ice cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Get in, see Will Aver and that great staff. Birmingham Institution is Odie's Tavern.
And speaking of institutions, our friends at Central State Bank have been doing this a long time. They don't just open accounts. They open up relationships. Family-owned, community-focused, built on trust for over 100 years. Central State Bank. They've served Shelby County and Tallapoosa County with local decisions and personal service that feels like home. Whether you're starting a business, buying a car, or planning for tomorrow, they're there for every step of the way. Central State Bank, rooted in community, driven by relationships, member FDIC.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
We interrupt this program for breaking news. From the gators of the litigation situation, insurance companies have a playbook. I repeat, insurance companies have a playbook. Deny, delay, defend. They know which law firms will fold and settle cheap. They are not on your side. That's corporate greed at work. At Alexander Sonara Trial Attorneys, we fight back. We have the resources, the muscle, and the will to take them on. And you don't pay a dime unless we win. They fight dirty. We fight hard. Call 659-777-7777 or hit up alexwins.law.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531.
888-866-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time. It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time.
Couple of basketball things here as we get into the night of basketball that's happening as we start SEC play. Auburn and Alabama don't play until tomorrow night. Auburn and Mississippi State and Alabama home to Arkansas in that big game tomorrow night. Here locally, man, our man Andy Kennedy's going through it a little bit. Cut number 3, Tyler, if you can. This is back to Sunday. And their loss, and this comment's getting a little national play from Andy Kennedy, and I wanted your reaction to this. I will tell you up front, I have no problem with Andy calling out his players a little bit here. Here's AK after the loss on Sunday.
We had our moments, and we just didn't take advantage of them. Evan had a layup in the open floor we didn't make. Daniel had multiple. I mean, guys, we're talking about layups, man. These are college scholarship players that are making more money than most people in this room. Is it too much to ask for you to make a layup? Seriously. I mean, guys, we're in bozo land, man. We're in bozo land, man. I mean, you can't finish at the basket. 55 points on your own floor to Tulane, hold them to 36%, out-rebound them by double digits, only have 8 turnovers. You should win the game. You score 54 points, man. You can't score.
12 of 22 on layups.
Yeah, 4-27 behind the arc. They lose, as he said, by a point, 55-54, and you win that game, you've won 5 of 6. I agree with him, and I think you should be more critical of college athletes now that they're making this kind of money. And back to Jerome Tang, like, there might end up being something more to that story, but for him to call it an embarrassment, I got no problem with coaches calling their guys out now. No problem at all, and I don't blame Andy for being pissed off. I mean, that is absolutely embarrassing. You shoot 32% at home in front of, a crowd you're trying to build. That's tough. But, go back. Look what Yax is doing right now for Dusty May and Michigan and the number 1 team. It's really difficult. We're talking about, Kalen DeBoer. I'm sure Andy Kennedy's like, woe is me. Kalen DeBoer doesn't have the money to spend. When you are UAB, if you have a semblance of a really good player, you will never have them the next year.
Yeah, surprising they kept him one other year after he busted onto the scene.
And they're still 16-10, and like they're dangerous enough once they get into play. I mean, South Florida leads the American right now.
They beat them in Tampa.
They're dangerous enough to win the tournament.
Yeah, and luckily for UAB, the tournament's not at Bartow Arena where they've not been good this year. They've been better on the road.
Got to make those layups.
We'll talk about Yaxel Lendeborg after I remind you our friends at Johnston RV Center. They've got their open house coming up February the 27th through March the 1st at both locations. So Johnston RV open house time is around the corner, February 27th through March the 1st at the I-65 exit 304 store. That's in Coleman, or the I-65 exit 334 store in Decatur. You can always shop online at johnstonrvcenter.com, where you find all their lines from travel trailers to fifth wheels, toy haulers, park models, and motor homes. Everything new and qualifying pre-owned is covered by a lifetime warranty from RV Warranty Forever. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, exit 334 off I-65 in Decatur. Always online, johnstonrvcenter.com. And don't forget the open house, February 27th through March 1st. Cut 6, Tyler, if you can, and then 7 after that. This is, Forster, you're telling me this is back before the season, back in the summer, right? This video that has resurfaced this day?
I was not aware of that, but when I listened to, because I thought it was a new clip too, but when I listened to Dusty May, he said it was back from when Yax committed or signed with Michigan.
So Yaxel Lendeborg, who leaves UAB, is going to Michigan, back as he's just signed Purdue has sort of been one of the go-to teams in the Big Ten. This is resurfaced with Michigan at Purdue tonight over the last 48 hours. Here is Yax and a few beeps.
Josh, when we see Purdue, we're going to spank they f***ing ass, we're going to beat they f***ing ass. Purdue, f*** you, and like Purdue.
Yeah, doesn't like Purdue. So Purdue's playing that up with the big game happening tonight. Number 1 in the country, Michigan, number 1 for the first time in 13 years, at Purdue, who's now won, a handful of games in a row, 5:30 on Peacock. Here's Dusty May, cut 7 on the Yax video resurfacing.
It's a great lesson. It's one of the reasons he's here. He wanted to learn to be a better pro. And to be a better pro, you need to have the mindset that you're probably always being recorded. And if there's ever a moment that someone can use that information against you, this is an old video. This was back, I think, in May, right after he signed at Michigan. And obviously the excitement of being here, of playing in these games. He's at an establishment after hours, and they ask him a question about the number 1 team in the country, and he said the things he said. He wishes he would not have, but moving forward, it's a good learning lesson. I can't imagine that a lawyer and TKR and Braden Smith and those guys are sitting around motivated by what Yaxel Lendeborg said in a over 21 establishment 4 months ago. I think that they're killers as is. And so as far as bulletin board material, I'm not sure that that means much when it comes time to execute pick and roll defense or transition defense.
You're talking about a great coach, Dusty May. Absolutely fantastic, going back to what he was able to do at Florida Atlantic, his 2 years at Michigan, Sweet 16 last year, and right now the number 1 team in college basketball. Yax is backing it up, though. Your leading scorer for Michigan. He's averaging your leading rebounder for Michigan, second in assist. I mean, he's just a statistical machine, and this is a machine. They've won 10 of 11 by double digits, so they have been flat out dominating the Big Ten right now. But this is a tricky spot in West Lafayette, and I don't know how much these guys. I'm sure because it is your leading scorer, it's the number 1 team. I don't really blame Matt Painter for throwing it out there and saying, "Hey, look, guys, this guy's talking a lot of shit about you."
Yeah, but I mean, look, that's how sports are. I mean, I'm a Ravens fan. The best teams they ever had talked a lot of shit. I mean, you just go out there and play. That's what's happening out on the court anyway. Maybe they just have a video of somebody doing that. I mean, how many times have you played sports and it may motivate you a little bit, but sometimes it motivates you when that guy's on your team.
I'd be more concerned if my guys didn't feel like we were going to go in there and beat Purdue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love how he sums up a bar, though, a 21-plus establishment.
Loves it. I'm going. Let's go tonight.
But this is much like last night, if you're a college basketball fan, was a must-watch with Iowa State and Houston. This is a must-watch tonight with Michigan and Purdue.
I mean, Peacock 5:30, Michigan at Purdue. You still have Peacock? It's a big night for you, Forster.
Yes, it's finally going to pay off.
Yeah, because you get that game, and then afterwards UCLA and Michigan State, 7:30. I mean, cue up Mick Cronin griping about the schedule, having to fly to East Lansing. But UCLA's not that bad, man. They're 9 wins in the Big Ten.
Look, Mick Cronin can coach. I mean, he likes to bitch about the Big Ten. We've talked about that, but he can coach.
You also get tonight Miami of Ohio, still unbeaten, at UMass. North Carolina at NC State, 6 o'clock ESPN. Tricky game for Carolina.
Oh, NC State's 6.5-point favorite.
Yeah, Will Wade trying to get a big win.
Might be a play on that at Lance's log. 6 college basketball plays up and available right now.
Nebraska's on the road at Iowa, 8 o'clock on ESPN tonight. Sneaky game, 9 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, Grand Canyon at San Diego State. Part of me likes Grand Canyon on the Calshi play tonight. Take a position there. And then in the SEC, South Carolina, Florida, LSU, Texas, and gimme games for Florida and Texas, I believe. But then Georgia's at Kentucky tonight, 8 o'clock on ESPN.
Almost played the Bulldogs. They've been pretty good on the road. You're catching 6.5 in this spot.
I think they've lost 5 of 6.
Yeah, and Kentucky's good. I just don't know how good they are. I think Pope's got them playing a little bit above.
So that's the SEC tonight before Auburn and Alabama get back into it. tomorrow. So it should be fun. We'll talk a little bit more Tide and Tigers before we get to trash coming up. One more college football thing to get to in this segment after LT reminds you about the great folks at Hemp Hill Services. He calls them all the time for his house, man.
Yeah, unfortunately. But look, these situations are going to arise. It might be heat. It might be cooling. It might be plumbing. When it comes up, it's not ideal, but you want to deal with somebody that is going to take on the urgency of the job that you want, and they're going to, treat the job with the respect that you want. And this is why Birmingham has trusted Hemp Hill Services since 1954. All of these issues, home or business, call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
And our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Leslie and her board-certified team can help you out. No contracts, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation with Leslie is absolutely free. Planforme.com. It really works, folks. They've helped me tremendously over the years, and here's the best part. They help you maintain your weight loss. And you get all the details at planforme.com. Injection therapy, meal replacements. I use these protein bars to help with bad snacking when I just need something to tide me over to a good healthy lunch or dinner. It's all right there at Way to Wellness, planforme.com, your journey to healthy living. Alex Golesh is Auburn's coach. Now, when you're coaching in college athletics, especially nowadays, and I think this was a problem at Alabama between Bear Bryant and Nick Saban. I don't know how you feel, Mick, but between when Coach Bryant retired and before Nick Saban got there were years and years and years where there were too many chefs in the kitchen, too many hands in the old.
So true.
Too many people trying to pull in different directions. They couldn't get on the same page. Is that how you saw the between Bryant and Saban years?
Hey, look, I spent a lot of time there. I was on the Crimson Tide Sports Network for 10 years, been around that athletic department for 25 years. Some good people, and it's not personal, but you're right. You coaches from other sports pulling in their direction against football, saw that happen in the past. Obviously administrators that want one thing and another, boosters. I used to call the athletic department the Viper Pit, and I hope that that's not the case anymore, because when Saban came in, he was the King Cobra, and he kind of straightened it all out. And I hope that it maintains that as, the board takes over now for a couple years.
Alex Golesh, in an interview with AuburnSports.com, basically said, and I'm paraphrasing here, because I can't find the story again now. I was about to read the quote to you. But he said to AuburnSports.com, the fine folks down there with Justin Hokanson's crew, they do a great job, that you should be, if you're a booster donating money, you should be kept up to date on what we're doing inside our program. Absolutely. But if you're going to meddle with our program and try to start, because you donate, start trying to influence how we do things, then we don't need your money. And I do believe that's the way it should be. You should donate your money and then not expect to have your fingerprints on the program of making decisions or influencing things.
Yeah, here's this quote. I did find it for you. They have a right to know what you're spending money on, but you have to be really careful. This Golesh to On3. If you're going to spend money and then want to be involved in decision making, then we're good. We don't need your money. If you're upfront and honest from the beginning, you've got a chance.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Look, you've got to have, it is not working the way it is currently structured.
That's right.
So you need somebody that is going to come in and they're going to do it their way, and they're going to try to own everything that is that program. And if you're smart, if you're one of these Auburn boosters, you back up and give him an opportunity to do that.
And that's what Mal Moore did when Nick Saban got there. He stood between all those people that have meddled all those years. Mm-hmm. Yes, we need the money. Now stay out of the way.
Yeah, watch this. I'll run this. But the other thing, too, is, how many rich people that that give money want to just give money and not really have a say on what the money's being spent on, right? And the bottom line for Alabama and Auburn right now, in my opinion, is they've got to get as much money as they can for football players and have a better roster than the other teams they're playing. And if they don't, Auburn's already down here, and it feels like Bama's kind of coming back down to earth.
Here's what doesn't make any sense. Those same people that give money and want to be involved are the same people that have financial advisors that They've got millions of dollars, and they entrust those guys to park their money where they see best. And do you think these guys are getting involved with their financial guy every single day, calling that guy, hey, man, what's going on with my money? The smart guys invest with people they can trust. You have, you've hired him to do a job, Alex Golesh. Let him do his job now.
Yeah, right. Is it a good investment to help pay college football players?
Probably not. If you could ever get a write-off with that, it might not be bad. But look, if that's your vice, I've said it before, if I could, if I had tons of money and I could give to the Rams and guarantee championships, I'd do it.
Speaking of the NFL, it is franchise tag day. A little more on that after LT tells us about our friends at New York Butcher Shop.
The New York Butcher Shop, absolutely great place to pick up dinner for the wife and kids tonight. The fresh meats from the ribs, the chicken, the pork. Of course, the incredible steaks that we had this past Saturday night for Valentine's Day. The in-house sides made fresh every single day. Love those baked beans, the mac and cheese, the goat cheese, mashed potatoes. Everything they've got is fantastic. Also, the desserts. I've fallen in love with their apple pie. It is incredible as well. Great selection of wine. Rare quality, well-done service. 2 locations to get in and see Jim and those Butchers. The original Cava Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Stop in today. One-stop dinner shop, the New York Butcher Shop.
I guess the highest profile player that is going to get the franchise tag when it opens up at 4 Eastern, 3 Central today at some point is likely going to be George Pickens.
Is going to be George Pickens. Now, whether it happens today, you've got till March 3rd. So you got a little bit of time on this, so it'll play out over the next couple of weeks. But there's really nothing else you can do with Pickens. You can't give him a deal like you gave CeeDee Lamb. So I think you give him a 1-year deal, and, I forgot what that number is going to be, but, in the neighborhood of $25, $30 million.
Here's the problem, according to USA Today. Jerry Jones has a lot to do to simply utilize the tag. $30 million in the hole, basically, when it comes to their salary cap. And they need to free up $60 million in order to potentially franchise tag Pickens and stay under the cap. So they've got to do a lot of moving deck chairs just to have enough money to tag George Pickens for 1 year.
Yeah, so,
they seem to be upside down.
Well, you saw what the Dolphins were able to do yesterday, shedding the contracts of Tyreek Hill and Bradley Chubb, and you got to get really creative if you're Jerry Jones, but they will find a way to tag Pickens, and he'll be back out there playing for a 1-year deal or playing on a 1-year deal.
Emotional decisions have to be made, like at Kansas City. It's hard to believe Travis Kelce would play anywhere else but Kansas City. $55 million over the cap already.
Wow.
They'll likely not accomplish much of anything until they restructure Patrick Mahomes' contract, according to USA Today. But they've got to make a decision about a franchise tag or Travis Kelce or what his future is going to be. It's almost to the point where they are hoping he retires.
Yeah, and I thought he was going to retire. I mean, that's the way it seemed when he played his final game at Arrowhead, or at least we believed that to be his final game. If you're Kansas City, you got to go out and you got to get other playmakers. And Travis Etienne is one of those guys they're taking a look at right now with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but you want to be able to loosen up money to be able to go out and get free agents instead of worrying about the cap hit that a guy like Travis Kelce might cost you. I agree with you. I don't think they want him back.
Yeah.
I mean, just dollars and cents.
And that's a tough decision to make. And, it's been emotional with Mike Evans in Tampa. We talked about that's my team, and the other day we talked about that. Mike Evans, linebacker Levante David, Jamel Dean, the former Auburn player. They've been there, career Buccaneers.
We'll take Dean off your hands.
And they'd love to keep them all.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to tag somebody, and they used the tag last year on Mike Evans, I believe, or did we give him a 1-year deal?
I don't remember who you guys tagged last year. Could have been.
The Rams, it looks like you're going with your safety, Cameron Curl.
Yep.
Would be the most likely guy to get tagged there. So it's tag day, always interesting. Do you think, Mick and LT, do you think players are happy when they get tagged?
No.
The Rams want to re-sign Puka Nacua long term, and I would imagine Puka wants that because next year he's in the tag game.
Yeah, so this will be his 4th year coming up on a 5-year deal. And, the Rams are loving where they've got Puka right now because he was a 7th-round pick. But, yeah, I think for the most part these guys don't like it. They feel like they've already earned their money. and they love what they're making for that 1 year, but they want that deal over 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, you agree that they don't like the tag?
No, I don't think so either. And it's kind of crazy to see how the NFL system works when you compare it to Major League Baseball, where the Dodgers go out and they buy everybody they want. And, there's no repercussion. And then in the NFL, you can't even keep your best players. It's a shame. I mean, why you'd want to see Puka be a Ram forever, right? And them have the ability to do that with these salary caps. I'm a Ravens fan. We're probably going to lose our center. And you're like, well, are you going to franchise him or somebody else? But I guess that's what keeps the parity in the NFL so good.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? We were talking to Alabama earlier. One thing Alabama fans don't like is parity.
No.
Because Alabama was at the top of the heap. They don't like the parity
NFL,
game.
because nobody stays at the top. I think everybody appreciates the parity. And you just don't see quarterbacks in, we've talked about this before in free agency. You brought up Daniel Jones. I mean, that is your top free agent quarterback this year is Daniel Jones.
100%. Hey, the viewing menu today brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. What Tyler and LT are watching, and Mick too, tonight, brought to you by Michelson.
Yeah, 205-969-8100, the number I called back in 2003. Still have the 2015 vision, better than 2020. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with that hassle-free consultation. They're conveniently located UAB Highlands. For more information, go online, michelsonlaservision.com.
All right. First off, I may be going to the movies after the show today.
Wait, you don't say. Where were you yesterday?
I was at the movies, believe it or not.
I think the chat room would agree that you probably should just tell us days you're not going to the movies.
Yeah, that might be better.
Can I ask you, back to the Lent, if you were, would it be impossible for you to give up 40 days of no theater?
Oh, I'd be bored. I'd be really bored. 40 days, no theater.
What could you fill that time with?
Watching at home?
Yeah, watching at home and then editing clips for TNR clips.
So what will you see today? What did you see yesterday? What will you see today?
So yesterday it was the unseen movie, and it ended up being How to Make a Killing, starring Glenn Powell, Margot Robbie, not Margot Robbie, Margaret Qualley, and Ed Harris.
And tell us the premise you told us yesterday and see what Mick thinks about this.
So basically, this estranged wealthy guy, he's disconnected from the rest of his wealthy family, and to get his $10 billion inheritance, he plans to murder all of the other inheritors, and that way he can run away with Margaret Qualley. So the premise is basically, how many people would you kill to be a billionaire that sleeps with Margaret Qualley?
And I told Tyler yesterday, all of them.
Yeah, and it's much different than Brewster's Millions.
Great film back in the day. Remember who his catcher was?
John Candy.
Yeah, John Candy. So how was it?
It was really solid. It was funny. It didn't overstay its welcome, and overall, I thought the story was pretty solid. It's worth a watch.
Okay, does it drop this Thursday in 2 days?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, technically comes out this weekend. But today, I'm seeing Wuthering Heights, just for the sake of having an opinion on it. It's a passionate and tumultuous love story set against the backdrop of the Yorkshire moors, exploring the intense and destructive relationship between Heathcliff and Catherine Earnshaw. And it's Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie.
Elordi's getting a lot of roles. He's up for Best Supporting Actor for Frankenstein, which I don't think he said a couple of words.
It's going to shock you, Maggie and I almost went to see this Sunday.
Yeah, it was. Theaters were packed for this movie.
There's a lot of people upset with the first scene. I don't know if you've heard what goes down in the first scene. But some people have gotten up and walked out.
Wow, I haven't heard any of that.
Yeah.
I just keep seeing clips across my timeline of Margot Robbie talking about putting Jacob Elordi's fingers in her mouth.
Okay. Well, you will get looks because you will probably be the only single guy at this.
Yeah, probably. But I've been to worse movies as the only single guy. So, moving on, Paramount has all of the Scream movies on its catalog, and I want to go through that whole franchise and watch all of them again because the newest movie, Scream 7, comes out next weekend. So I want to refresh.
I've only seen the first two. I thought the first one was really creative and fun, but quickly, I don't know. I got past it.
Yeah, the first one is definitely still the best one. Still holds up as a very creative way to do a slasher while also making fun of slashers. And then finally, you mentioned you're watching The Great Santini tonight to celebrate Robert Duvall, and I'm deciding to go with Apocalypse Now.
You've seen it though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, great movie.
So freaking good.
Would that be a great bar drink? Like
an Apocalypse Now?
That would be
You better
good.
put a lot of shit in it.
That would be a good one.
Making me thirsty.
But I would say off of your version of a martini, The Great Santini.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
I'm more intrigued by the Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, that would be that would have
because our friends at
that'd have pure grain alcohol in it.
Our friends at Walk-Ons, and I've seen
clear in orange juice.
Seen Tyler drink a couple of these. The Death Valley. Now, of course, that's aptly named after Death Valley next door to the original Walk-Ons right there in Tiger Stadium. But that's a really cool name for a drink. But I think an Apocalypse Now would be good.
Yeah, that would be a good one. All right, when we come back, more college football. We'll buy some stocks in returning quarterbacks. Mike Elko has a thought on his returning quarterback from yesterday. We'll talk a little Marcel Reed and SEC football. LT's got 4 downs for us in the next segment. Show today being brought to you by our wonderful friends at NASCAR, getting you ready for racing again at Talladega Superspeedway. It's the Jack Links 500 weekend coming up April 25th through 27th. You can get your tickets right now at the website you see on your screen, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com, or you can call 877-GO-TO-DEGA. That's 877-462-3342. And you can stay connected all the time on your social media at Talladega Superspeedway, at Talladega on Instagram. And don't forget to add the garage experience, that immersive garage experience, unlike anywhere else in NASCAR, over at Talladega, where you can see each race team working on their car in the garage bay viewing areas. You can experience question and answer sessions. You can go to the Mobile One Victory Lane trophy and photos, and a lot more. Get your tickets now for the unpredictable great racing coming April 27th to Talladega, the Jack Links 500, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com, or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
We interrupt this program for breaking news. From the gators of the litigation situation, insurance companies have a playbook. I repeat, insurance companies have a playbook. Deny, delay, defend. They know which law firms will fold and settle cheap. They are not on your side. That's corporate greed at work. At Alexander Sonara Trial Attorneys, we fight back. We have the resources, the muscle, and the will to take them on. And you don't pay a dime unless we win. They fight dirty. We fight hard. Call 659-777-7777 or hit up alexwins.law.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com. Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time. It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, one more hour to go here. Brownie back with us tomorrow. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, and Mick Gillespie, who is in costume now on this Fat Tuesday. How many dollars did you spend on that?
This is a Walmart buy. I just found the receipt for $10. But, I wanted to bring this for everyone to enjoy on Fat Tuesday. I mean, look at this jacket right
That
here.
is one of the tackiest
Look at this thing.
jackets ever.
Hey, it looks better on TV than it does in person.
It looks flammable, doesn't it?
It does.
It's polyester.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah. So Fat Tuesday to everybody. Be responsible, but go enjoy it and have a designated driver. But hope you're out enjoying this. Actually, where Brownie is, surprisingly of all of us, he went down to Mobile Mardi Gras.
He did. And I got a text from one of our friends, and they were like, I think Brown's in the same restaurant as me. Are you guys down here? And I was like, no, go up, see him. And randomly, Brown was in the same restaurant, but he is down there.
What's the best set of beads you've ever gotten? Because they're themed beads.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's dangerous asking Dunaway that.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really – I gave away some good ones over the years.
Yeah.
I never understood the bead thing. I think it's just the inhibitions when you're drinking. I think it's just an excuse for girls to show their rascals, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Mick's telling me they don't really do that as much in New Orleans anymore.
Really?
I went, well, it was
or is that Mobile or New Orleans?
No, 96, I went to New Orleans. It was back when Girls Gone Wild was big, right? So I had a little camera and then just walked down the street and filmed, basically what was going on. Like watch the beads and the action. It's a true story, Tyler. And then all of a sudden I heard they were like arresting people for that down there. Like they were trying to clean it up. But, we live in Fairhope now, so I go to Fairhope, Daphne, and Mobile's parades, and none of that happens.
Yeah, the original Mardi Gras down in Mobile, a family-friendly event. And for those of you that are down there today, we hope you guys enjoyed that. College football to get to in 4 downs in this segment. Brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. This final hour, Sterling and the crew on this Fat Tuesday, open for lunch and dinner for you. Always a great happy hour there to go see Sterling and Megan and everyone that's been at that location for over 10 years on Highway 119, just off the I-65 Alabaster exit there. The chicken is brined overnight, cooked to order, is a destination lunch location. If you're driving to or from the coast or the lake this spring and passing through the Alabaster area, take some time to stop off lunch or dinner with our friends at Champy's, champyschicken.com. Let's do the spotlight.
The College Football Spotlight.
And that's brought to you by Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys, a national firm with Southern roots, headquartered right here in Birmingham. 25 years for Alexander Shannara to build the firm exactly the way he wanted it. 150 lawyers, over 500 dedicated team members, elite trial lawyers that have recovered now over $2 billion and growing. And Alexander's kept those core integrity of values. That's the integrity, the mastery, the passion, and the success to make a law firm that fits his community. Not just personal injury anymore. Also handles storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' comp, and so much more. When you need a lawyer, call Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. SEC quarterbacks that are returning, buying their stock or not buying their stock. We start with Mike Elko, head coach Texas A&M Mike Elko, on his quarterback Marcel Reed as they get ready for spring ball out in College Station.
Our highs in 2026 were high enough to win the national championship. When we were at our best, we were as good as anybody in the country. We had not the ability to be there all the time. Right, and that's just where we came up short. We weren't able to hit those marks consistently all the time, and then certainly down the stretch in the last 2 games when we needed it, we weren't able to. And so, last offseason it was about finishing and making sure that we finished the right way. I think this year it's a little bit more about consistency and urgency have been the 2 words that we've really used a lot in the room. And so I think that applies to Marcel. I think there were times where you saw him play quarterback at an elite level, and there were times where he didn't. And I think how we get him to be urgent and consistent in his performance week in and week out, that's the next step for him and everybody in our program.
Mick, do you put Marcel Reed in the top 4 of SEC quarterbacks?
I mean, he's close to me. I thought, he played awful against Miami, but the rest of the season was really good. I like the dual threat guys. I think they're hard to defend. He can throw the ball too, and it hurt them that they didn't play a tougher schedule at the beginning of the year, because it felt like when they got to those games at the end, they just hadn't been battle tested. But I agree with them. I think when they're at their best, there's really no one that they can't beat.
Okay, first off, we were completely wrong on this exercise last year, so take that for what it's worth. We completely butchered who the elite quarterbacks were going to be in this league. The other thing, I think Mike Elko is an exceptional coach. He's done a great job in 2 years, but I disagree. They had no chance at winning a national championship because, to your point, Mick, when you looked at the schedule, they won in South Bend early against Notre Dame. That was a huge win. But outside of that, once you got to your best 2 teams that you played, Texas, you lose by double digits, and they couldn't manufacture anything offensively against Miami, and a lot of it was Marcel Reed. I think he's a good quarterback that will get better.
Give me a letter grade. Give me a letter grade on Marcel Reed, the way you think he'll play in 2026.
I think he will be a B quarterback.
A B quarterback.
I think he was a B- quarterback last year, but again, his 2 biggest games against Texas and Miami, he did not show up. No touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Okay, I'm going to walk you through returning quarterbacks that are starters in the SEC this year, and we'll go Joey Aguilar next. We're going to assume he gets another year at Tennessee. Give me a letter grade for Aguilar, and what do you think he's good at and not good at?
Aguilar can throw the deep ball extremely well. Another thing that you love about Aguilar is you love the experience. I mean, this is a guy now that's got 40-plus starts. I forgot what the number is. I'm sure I can find that somewhere. But this guy has played a ton of football. But he's not going to wow you. I don't think Aguilar is ever going to be a quarterback that you look at and you're like, damn, that's an elite quarterback. But I think he's good enough, to do some things. He's got to cut down on the turnovers. That was one of the problems, when he was playing Group 5 football. He turned the football over way too much. I think coming into Tennessee, he had 28 career interceptions, and he threw 10 last year. Got to limit the mistakes.
Is he below Marcel Reed?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, think about the pick 6 to Alabama and Oklahoma. I mean, those are 2 games Tennessee wins, and they make the college football playoff. So
huge plays, yeah.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't. When I look at him, and you're up in Knoxville a lot, when I look at him, he just doesn't look like a Josh Heupel quarterback to me. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, he's not Hooker, but I mean, the experience factor is huge, though. I mean, when you can put somebody behind center that's played 40 games, the thing with him, when I watched him, I always thought when teams make adjustments, he has a tough time making an adjustment to the adjustment, right? Like Tennessee always comes out hot, and then all of a sudden they can't do anything. I felt like that was a lot on him.
They had such a good defense 2 years ago. Dylan Sampson running the football. I think they missed some of those elements. But, Aguilar does have over 10,000 career passing yards, but he's got 34 career interceptions.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. John Mateer, where are you guys on John Mateer? I'll start with you, Mick. John
I
Mateer,
love
any
him.
good?
Yeah, I think he's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. He got injured last year, and I think he played through the injury. But and look, Alabama took advantage of him in the playoff game and pick six. But he's a tough guy. He just has the it factor to me. I feel like he's one of the top 4 quarterbacks in the league, or he could potentially be that. I just like the moxie that the guy brings to the table.
He does have moxie, I will give you that, but it was uneven last year, and I just didn't think he was really effective at all. 14 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. The yardage as far as running the football went way down from almost 1,000 yards 2 years ago at Washington State to 431 yards last year, and half the touchdowns, 8 rushing touchdowns. I think he's got a lot more potential. Maybe he's comfortable now in the SEC. And back to your point, he did injure the thumb against Auburn early on in the season, and I did think he played a lot differently after that. But the numbers from Wazoo to Oklahoma, I mean, it was a big decline.
He's the first quarterback that I really question his offensive coordinator. I'm not sure Arbuckle is cut out for this league.
Well, maybe not, but Arbuckle was his guy at Wazoo.
It was.
And,
Yeah, it's true.
you go back to his final year there, he had a total of 44 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. And then this year, you've got 22 total touchdowns and 11 interceptions.
Yeah.
So it was night and day, the production.
Okay, so Mateer below or above Marcel Reed, in your opinion?
Potential to be above. Played under Marcel Reed last year.
How do you think he'll be in 2026 is my question. Above or below Marcel Reed?
I would assume he's going to be 100% health-wise. And if you're Brent Venables, just explain, you've got something you didn't have in Pullman. You've got a defense. So you don't have to, pull plays out of your ass left and right like he was doing in Pullman. So if he can settle down, get the nerves under him a little bit, I think he can be better than Marcel this year. I'm going to say he does have a not drastic, but a much improved. I would give him a C- last year. I think he'll be a B quarterback this year.
Brett McMurphy has Oklahoma as a playoff team. They don't get to the playoffs unless John Mateer is better than Marcel Reed, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Marcel Reed is a playoff quarterback, according to McMurphy as well. Lenore Sellers. Where are you on Lenore Sellers now? Almost had Alabama beat.
Yeah, I like Lenore Sellers. I was surprised that they didn't do better last year. And I really thought that this was going to be a season where South Carolina was going to have some big upsets. Then they have a huge lead at Texas A&M and lose. It's like you look at.
31. That's not that big of a lead, is it?
Yeah, right. But you look at the intangibles that the guy has. If they block a little bit for him and run the football, and it's not always just on his shoulders, he's good. I definitely think he's one of the top 4 quarterbacks in the league. He's a scary matchup for Alabama when they have to play early in the season.
I think outside of Arch, he probably has the most potential. But he went backwards last year. And, you can continue to say he's raw, which he is. But, now we're talking about year 4 at South Carolina, year 3 of being a starting quarterback. He's got to turn this thing on. They were 1-7 in conference last year. He turned the football over way too much. Just wasn't productive last year.
If you had a choice between Marcel Reed or Lenore Sellers, who do you take?
I would take Sellers with A&M's talent.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's
equal
big
talent.
Different.
Equal talent.
Nick Harbor was his go-to last year, and they weren't on the same page a lot. And I just thought they underachieved last year, but he doesn't have the talent around him that a lot of these other quarterbacks have.
These other 3 returning guys, probably in everybody's top 3, Arch Manning, Trinidad Chambliss, Gunnar Stockton.
Yes, those are your top 3 quarterbacks.
Those
in this
are your
league.
top 3 quarterbacks that are returning.
And I feel good. Last year, completely butchered it. I feel really good. All 3 of those quarterbacks. It's going to be difficult for them to have bad seasons.
But if Arch Manning's name was Mick Gillespie, would we really be talking about Arch Manning?
Is he wearing that jacket?
If he has this jacket, if he had this
Calling
jacket
him
on, we
a
would.
bozo. No,
Thanks, pal.
I think you've got a point going into last year, and I think I said as much. But the way he played in the second half of last season, I think Arch Manning is going to be the real deal. I think so.
Sam Levitt at LSU, Byron Brown at Auburn, Minchie at Kentucky, 3 former at one point starters, particularly Levitt and Byron Brown, those two. Levitt at LSU, Byron Brown at Auburn. When the season's over with, can Levitt or Brown be the 4th best quarterback in the SEC?
Yes. I'll say this, though. Take it with a grain of salt when you look at Byron Brown because, he's making that transition that John Mateer made last year. Now, the difference, I've seen Byron Brown. South Florida plays a lot of really difficult games out of conference. So I've seen him against some of the best, and he looks the part. He
played Alabama twice.
Yeah, he looks like he belongs. I still think it's going to be a little bit more of a difficult transition. And, look, he doesn't have the talent around him Sam Levitt has.
Yep. So the question I guess I'm asking is, in your opinion, Mick, Byron Brown, Sam Levitt, when the season done, can they be better than Marcel Reed, Joey Aguilar, Lenore Sellers, John Mateer?
I mean, I think it's possible. I mean, they're both talented guys. And it's always fun to see these guys that come from one system and go to another and how they respond to that.
And that's an advantage for Brown, having his old head coach and play caller with him.
Yeah.
Central Alabama Asphalt brings you 4 downs every day. LT's about to give us the 4 downs. He can also tell you about Central Alabama Asphalt where, and this is, I always go back to this, if you've got soon-to-be drivers in your house, you and your wife have a car or truck, now you're about to add a 3rd car or truck, and most of our driveways are not, it becomes a pain in the butt to have to go out there. A new parking pad from Central Alabama Asphalt's a great, great gift to yourself.
Yeah, look, I've always wanted one of those, big wraparound driveways. If you entertain a lot, you can have people, just park everywhere out there where you're not crowding the street. Our friends at Central Alabama Asphalt and Construction, look, they're based in Tuscaloosa, but they're a full-service asphalt contractor trusted on major state, government, municipal roadway projects across Central Alabama. Not just a big job company. They also have the dedicated division focused entirely on private driveways, smaller asphalt projects, same crews, same quality, same no-excuse standards, no matter the size of the job, from highways to neighborhoods. Central Alabama Asphalt, client-oriented, quality-focused, and built to deliver. For estimates or opportunities, call 205-349-0910. That's 205-349-0910, or visit centralalabamaasphalt.com.
First down.
Okay, you're going to have to give me a second to get this under wraps. So here we go. A couple of celebrity birthdays. Larry the Cable Guy, 63 years old. Paris Hilton, 46. Better career, Larry the Cable Guy or Paris Hilton?
I spent one night with Larry the Cable Guy at the Comedy Club. Funny, front row seats. I enjoyed him. Started on like a radio morning show, right?
Probably. I've seen him one time.
And now he's got that Disney money, that Toe Mater money.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to say Larry the Cable Guy.
Paris Hilton's got that Hilton money.
Yeah.
Not that she earned it.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, who earned their money?
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, look, say what you want about Larry the Cable Guy. I would go Larry the Cable Guy here.
One night with Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, I'd say Larry the Cable Guy.
It's funny, Brown he's brought that up before. Like, that guy does have to stay in character.
I heard him on the Comedy Channel driving back from the Keys. And he was doing an interview. He's a good guy, too, man. You can just tell he's a nice guy.
Second down.
Jim Brown would have been 90 years old. Better career, Jim Brown or Clint Black?
Ooh.
Not close, Jim Brown.
I would agree. I don't know much about country music, but I think Clint Black's got 30 number 1 hits.
He's playing in Biloxi next weekend.
I'm going to say Clint Black does not have 30 number 1 hits.
No, but he's got some. He's got some good
does.
songs.
Definitely
Killing
double
time.
digits.
Killing time.
Definitely double digits. Would bet any amount of money that he's got double digits.
I would say now
13 to 22 plus number 1 singles on the Billboard country chart.
Okay, that's where it gets confusing.
I mean, he's country.
I don't know how you have
How's that
13
confusing?
to 22.
You know who his hero was?
It either went number 1 or it didn't.
No, that's not confusing. He's a country music singer. That's his chart.
Well, I would say the Billboard, the Casey Kasem 40 and 40 countdown is where the number 1 song should be.
But you never had that with country until recently.
Okay.
Do you agree with that?
I guess. So 13 to 22.
But I agree, Jim Brown is the answer here. I was just looking for,
Short career, Jim Brown, I think 9 years or something like that. Clint Black's biggest hit, Killing Time.
Yeah.
Is that
Jim
right?
Brown, also an awesome lacrosse player. Did you guys know that?
I did not know that.
I'm sure he can do everything.
A machine.
Yeah.
Actor too.
Yeah, but
I guess Clint Brown or Clint Black kind of was
Black
maybe.
Was Jimmy Buffett was his guy. That's who he was like inspired by.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
I didn't know that. I used to love that song "Killing Time." That's from '90s country.
Great era of country music too.
It's a great era of music. We say on the show all the time, '90s was the best decade of music because you had '90s rap, '90s grunge rock, alt rock. If you like Lilith Fair like I do, the women's rock, that was fantastic. '90s country was fantastic. I mean, that's just great music.
Yeah.
Third down.
Speaking of music, Ed Sheeran, 35 years old today. If I ask you, ultimately better career, Ed Sheeran or Eddie Vedder?
Ooh. Easy one.
That's Eddie Vedder, right?
Eddie Vedder, big Cubs fan too. He's always hanging around the facilities out there.
I don't know. I'm not I don't love Pearl Jam. They're like when I talk about Seattle grunge scene, Pearl Jam is
but
more
they were one
towards
of the,
the
top.
bottom.
Oh, like they were one of the top bands forever.
No, I agree. I was much more Chris Cornell than Eddie Vedder. But with all that said, Ed Sheeran, I don't like his stuff. I liked his earlier stuff. But that kid's 35 and printing money. Yeah. And I've never seen him at a concert or in concert. But I've heard like he does the solo stuff, and it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, where he plays a beat, and gets it going. Yeah, I've seen
but
him
he's
do
selling
that.
out stadium tours as a solo artist. I mean, that's pretty impressive at 35.
Yeah,
I think ultimately he will kill it. If we're just going money, I think he will outlast Vedder.
Vedder for me is Ed Sheeran selling out stadiums in the U.S. or in the U.K.
Oh, both.
Both.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
For
He's
sure.
selling out stadiums.
Back to back.
Yeah, he's selling out Wembley, and then he'll come over here and sell out Staples and stuff like that.
Okay, that's an arena. That's not
true.
a stadium.
Lumen. He was at Lumen in Seattle. Yeah.
And sold out outdoor stadiums.
He's doing stadiums.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Fourth down.
Not a big fan, but that guy's killing it.
I can't imagine that.
Michael Jordan, 63 years old.
Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan. Wow. 63 years old today. Michael Jordan or Steven Spielberg?
Oh, God. Two goats, man. I mean,
Spielberg's movies now suck.
But like Jordan is the best of all time.
Yes.
I mean, he is. I mean, I saw
we're
the
talking
whole
about
thing.
basketball. Yes.
Yeah, I saw the whole thing.
And I don't think you can say Spielberg is the greatest of all time.
I don't know.
I mean, you can make the argument.
I don't know. I mean, I think you could say that. I mean, think about all the movies that the guys had. And they're all incredible.
Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third
E.T.
Kind, E.T., Saving Private Ryan. But again, like his movies now, though, I guess his movies now are Jordan in a Wizard's uniform.
Oh, yeah. So that means Jordan wins this round.
Yeah, I'm going to say Jordan, and not just because of his basketball, where he is the greatest of all time.
Oh, good one here.
But because of the marketing aspect of it all, because he became the prototypical athlete on how everyone wants to be marketed.
Yep.
Business-wise, when he made that decision to not get paid by Nike, but I'll take the Nike stock.
Thank you very much, his mom, but it was a brilliant decision.
Yep.
Brilliant decision by him. Now he has bought and sold an NBA team.
Yeah.
Which is the best way to be an NBA owner, in my opinion, is to buy one and then sell one for profit.
It's getting better.
Right?
We've seen Spielberg's yacht, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he just won a NASCAR. He just won Daytona.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. I mean, it still is Spielberg with multiple Oscars, some of the best films ever.
Now, Jim just broke it down. I mean, you're taking the basketball.
I think it's really close.
And then, no way. Like, once you add did you ever own a pair of Jordans?
Oh, yeah, I still do.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
The original Jordans are
but
like
I also own a handful of Spielberg DVDs.
Yeah, but
Dream Team, not even factoring in Dream Team. I'm going to go Jordan.
Schindler's List?
How much can you get the original Jordans for on eBay?
I think that market
85s. I've seen them for
it's come back to life.
How much?
Around 10 grand,
10
depending
grand.
on condition.
But Spielberg doesn't have any sneakers.
Yeah, he's got that yacht though.
That is our 4 downs today, brought to you by our friends at Central Alabama Asphalt there. Also today, our show being brought to you by our friends at Champies. They bring you this final hour of the day. We'll talk some Alabama-Auburn basketball and trash in our final segment of the show. Champies wants to remind you that if you just want to hang out and have a great family meal, they've got this dining room that is it feels like home, honestly, when you're there. And Sterling's worked really hard to curate the feeling inside the place. They got live music on the weekends, too. They got happy hour, but a good family lunch or dinner, make it Champy's Chicken with Sterling and the crew right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Don't forget the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. I don't even like tamales except those tamales with Sterling at Champy's. The chicken's great. Best chicken fingers you'll ever taste. Perfect to take home or take to the office for a meeting or when it's tailgating season again. There's no place like Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster, champy'schicken.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
From driveways to interstates, accidents happen fast. The insurance company's response? Here's our offer. Take it or leave it. Leave it. Call Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Over 250,000 clients. And no, they don't accept lowball offers. They fight, they win. Over $2 billion recovered. Call now for a free consultation. 659-777-7777 or alexwins.law. Physical office location, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champy'schicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the next round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time. It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time.
A look ahead to tomorrow night's Auburn and Alabama basketball games, one on the road, one at home, after LT tells us about our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
Yeah, again, I had the 2200 vision. I was wearing the contacts, did it for about a decade, was wasting money each and every year on the contacts. Finally got the procedure done in 2003. I still have the 2015 vision, better than 2020. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Todd the next round. Cynthia, she is going to hook you up with that hassle-free consultation, 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mort Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Listen, they don't have a betting line yet, but a money line at Kalshi on Arkansas and Alabama for tomorrow night. Alabama minus 186 to win the game. 60% right now. What's that gonna factor out to a point spread?
Bama will end up being a 3.5-point favorite.
Wow, at home against Arkansas. Mm-hmm. Does that surprise you, Mick, after seeing the way Arkansas looked against Auburn the other night?
Yeah, they're playing good basketball, but, Bama's pretty good too, even without Bediako. And when Alabama's hitting threes, they can beat anybody. I'm definitely interested in this game. I'm looking forward to seeing which Alabama team we see.
Well, and Arkansas, still playing for that 1 seed. I mean, they're only a game back, as good as Florida's playing right now. But Alabama will definitely be favored. I'm going to say it's going to be 3.5. And let's not forget, Alabama's only a game back of Arkansas in the standings.
Yeah, that's right. Big game tomorrow night. Nate Oates talking about what Alabama, Tyler Cut 1, what Alabama needs to do to be better, and that's when they're ahead by a lot, finishing teams off.
What kind of improvements do you think you need to see as far as being able to put teams away better?
Defensive intensity on every possession for 40 minutes, no matter what the score is. Didn't think we had it tonight. Didn't think we had it against Ole Miss. You get a lead. We jump out, get up 17, and with 17 to go, and then from there they outscore you. Ole Miss, we get up 15, and up until the last 3 or 4 minutes, they kind of outscored us and caught it. So, it's what I'm most disappointed in. Like we've got the offensive firepower, we've got good defensive players when they want to get locked in, and then we get a lead, and it feels like we get comfortable and we can't put teams away, and we got to do a better job. Now, on Wednesday, I don't know if that's going to be an issue. I think that's going to be tooth and nail all the way through. They're talented. I've seen them play a few times. I got to dive in here tonight, tomorrow, and get a way better feel for them. But they're talented, man, really talented. So, not sure that's going to be what we're talking about Wednesday night. We're going to be trying to get a win on Wednesday night, no matter what we got to do to get it.
Man, if you like guard play, good guard play, you're going to see it. I mean, you saw what Billy Richmond and Darius Acuff were able to do against Auburn on Saturday. Now they go on the road to take on LeBaron and Aiden Holloway and Latrell Reitzel, the way he's playing right now. We talk about Alabama's out of conference and Auburn's out of conference. Arkansas played a hell of it out of conference too.
Yeah, really, really good. And they're, as you said, still in the hunt for the overall SEC regular season championship. Auburn's in a different place right now after their loss at Arkansas. They're at Mississippi State. Kalshi has Auburn minus 271 right now on the money line to win the game. That's a pretty hefty point spread when that comes out, right?
Yeah, so that is probably going to be Auburn more 7.5, 8.
So a road favorite in Starkville by more than a touchdown. Part of the reason is Todd Pettiford is starting to play a little bit better. Here's Stephen Pearl after the loss at Arkansas on Todd Pettiford.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal offensively the last 3 games. I think he has 21 assists and maybe 7 turnovers in the last 3 games. So he's doing his part offensively. I'm just going to continue to push him defensively. But he's given the effort that's required. He's really been consistent with his routines, during the week in preparation for games. And, it's when he's making shots like that, our ceiling obviously goes way up. So, I'm excited that Todd's, starting to do that and starting to turn a corner because he makes our team better. So, it's something that we've been kind of waiting on. And, I want him to just stay consistent because even though we've lost the last 3, while he's been playing well offensively, once this thing turns around and he's making shots, obviously it'll be positive for us.
I did not see Chris Jant's team losing 8-10 with Josh Hubbard coming back. I just didn't see it.
Not at all.
With the way they typically play defense. And that number probably a little high. I probably would say more 5.5. But again, Mississippi State is so bad right now.
Yeah.
Now, they are coming off a win, but it was against Ole Miss.
We'll see what Stephen Pearl has to say about Keyshawn Hall today. News conference happening in just a few seconds down at Auburn, and whether or not he will be eligible to return after disciplinary reasons over the weekend. That gets us to trash time. Before we hit the big button, our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing, Greg from Pell City, his wife Andrea, their 10 kids, want to remind you that to have the best home, you need the best roof. And stay on top of the health of your roof with our friend Greg from Pell City and StormRestorationRoofing.com. Greg from Pell City on Facebook. 205-542-3531. That gives you a free, no-cost roof inspection. Absolutely free, no obligation. He'll come out and check your roof. We've had viewers of our show to say, Greg came out, gave me that free, no-cost roof inspection, came down and said, hey, man, you don't need a new roof. Your roof's good for another 3, 4, 5 years. That's how honest he is. And then, of course, when you're ready to replace your roof, he hopes you call him back, right? 205-542-3531. He's great with the insurance providers. He's got financing options available that are family-friendly. He's got the soft wash program. And he always wants me to remind you that before you file something with your insurance company, call him first, because he can maybe help you if you got to choose between column A, column B. He's done this so long, he can help you out when it comes to your insurance as well. 205-542-3531 or Greg from Pell City on Facebook.
Like, okay, now I got to finish. And finishing on a guy that size is harder than you think.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Our friends at Bud Light. Make you want a Bud Light for trash?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always up for a Bud Light.
Florida man who matched the description of a wanted suspect told police that his name was George Costanza.
Oh, wow.
Now, this resulted, as you can imagine, in an obstruction charge. Doesn't really look like Costanza, does he?
Not close.
Now, officers patrolling a fishing pier entertainment park in Clearwater yesterday when they confronted a man who resembled, quote, the description of a subject with an active arrest warrant. Now, based on prior interactions with law enforcement, the cops believe the man to be Josiah Darling, a 30-year-old transient. Now, Darling, who recently arrested for trespassing, failed to appear for a January court hearing, prompting a judge to order his arrest. When officers asked the suspect to identify himself, the defendant responded, George Costanza. Now, once he provided police with the Costanza handle, he was positively identified via facial recognition, in addition to being arrested for an outstanding trespass warrant, also charged with resisting an officer, booked into county jail.
Got the same nose.
Yeah.
Kind of close.
A little bit.
Yeah. A lot more.
Both white males.
A lot more hair. He's closer to phallic, what's his name? The guy in Hangover that we had on trash.
Galifianakis?
Yeah. He's closer to him than he is to Costanza, right?
I don't know what the dude on the left looks like. He sure as hell doesn't look like Costanza.
Scott says like a disheveled Mr. Bean.
Oh, yeah. Well, kind of like Charles Manson type guy.
Yeah, I could see that a little bit. Yeah, he does look a little crazy.
Yeah, probably wouldn't want to run into him on that fishing pier.
Griffin Dunn was an actor. He looks a little like Griffin Dunn, just a little bit, without the beard. Elderly man in Japan arrested after stealing a toilet from a warehouse and then using it in his home. Now, the 76-year-old suspect allegedly stole a complete toilet set and its water tank from a warehouse under construction. The outlet wrote that the stolen fixture was later found installed in his home. At this point, however, it turned out that he had been using it for roughly 3 months before investigators discovered it. I'm going to assume they don't want it back at this point.
Slightly used.
Now, the elderly man, identified as a resident 30 minutes outside of Toyota City. Now, he brought the toilet home, installed it himself, and used it for his own purposes before police eventually came knocking. When questioned, he simply said, quote, I have been using the toilet I stole. There is, however, still one detail that remains unsolved. The water tank was also reported missing, but despite that being the case, he denied taking that, said he only stole the toilet boil. Quote, it is true that I stole the toilet seat or set, but I did not steal anything else. Now, the toilet may have been in use for 3 months, but it's stolen property. Likely won't be staying there much longer, so they are actually going to take this thing back.
Wow.
Still got some use in it. What? I'm from Baltimore, so I've had a lot of weird stuff stolen from me, including the Christmas tree one.
Is that part of going with like living in Baltimore?
Yeah. What's the weirdest thing that someone's ever stolen from you?
Somebody stole, and I think I've told this story before. We used to have some like banging Christmas parties back in the day when I was married, like crazy, like would last all night. And I don't know how they got so out of whack, but somebody stole a bunch of perfume from my ex-wife one time.
Wow.
Very, very strange.
I mean, a couple of girlfriends back in my high school and college days.
I've had
nothing really.
I've had a random like take one of my shirts. Like you get up the next day and you're like, where did that shirt go?
Right.
Yeah.
And then she's wearing it somewhere. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if it was a
favorite
trophy.
T-shirt. Yeah, like her trophy.
Or a trophy of let's not do this again. A memento. Big mistake
your
that was
neighbor
made.
stealing the Christmas tree off your porch and then coming by and asking you what happened to your Christmas.
So what was the craziest thing stolen in Baltimore?
We have a Christmas tree.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's not the Christmas spirit, is what he's trying to say.
I mean, but back to holidays, if you consider Halloween a holiday, like, you leave the candy out, please take one. They're going to take that, right?
That's just kids doing that all the time, right?
Okay, this might be island worthy. Actually, I think it is island worthy. Popular steak restaurant in Sydney, Australia is going viral after sharing footage of a customer appearing to pluck hair out of his armpit and then put it in his food to get out of his $600 bill. This is one of the most embarrassing things I think I've ever seen.
Gosh. So they've got cameras on every table here?
February 12th, Pony Dining in the Rocks, a high-end steak spot that's been in Sydney for over 20 years, posted CCTV footage of a diner eating food with a group. Now, the video showed the man appear to reach under his shirt, pluck hairs from his body several times, then put it on a steak. Now, the restaurant captioned the clip with, quote, "We don't usually share content like this." After the meal was served, the guests later raised a complaint regarding a hair in their meal and declined payment. Now, according to the Pony Dining in the Rocks, it was only the beginning of trouble. Speaking with a local news outlet, the restaurant claimed that the customer was being rude towards staff. Quote, "During the interaction, our team also experienced inappropriate and unacceptable behavior." They noted the man had racked up a $600 bill on steaks, ordered some of the most expensive food. Quote, "We served them a wonderful dinner. Everything was very clean. They had a beautiful table. We decided to check the video after and noticed they were acting weird. They ordered a lot of food, including the tomahawk. We tried to make them pay, but he refused. We called the police. However, at that time, we didn't have footage, so police advised us it was a civil problem and nothing they could do at that stage. They paid for drinks and left."
I mean, the one daughter that continues to lick the plate clean is freaking me out.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
That food is so good that you lick the bowl. I mean,
Hey, that's embarrassing. They don't need to eat out at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the wife is completely zoned out on her Tinder or whatever she's swiping right on.
She's,
Have you ever seen The Cooler, Tyler, with William Macy and Alec Baldwin?
No, I haven't seen that.
But The Cooler is, he's hired by the casino, and he goes, if somebody gets hot on the table, they send him over there, and he cools it down.
No, I've seen those.
But
guys.
Alec Baldwin,
is that a job? That could be
It
me.
is.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
you
my
need to see
gosh.
it. You are William H. Macy in this movie.
I mean, that would be 100% if that's a career.
But Alec
Professional
Baldwin
landminer.
runs casino the old school way, like the mob, and somebody's stealing and they take him upstairs. Like, somebody should stun this guy, take him upstairs, and something needs to happen. This is absolutely pathetic.
Well, I think if we went Old Testament here, we'd just peel his shirt off in the middle of the restaurant, hold him down, and pluck out his arm hairs one
That's
at
crazy.
a time.
Why
Or
not
cut
use
him
a
out with
head
that
hair?
steak knife.
No need to cut him out. You pull him out, it's going to hurt a lot more.
Why not a head hair though? Why the underarm hair?
That's what I wondered when I saw the video too.
Guess he wants it to make it look like a pube.
You could
Yeah,
probably
he's-
like scratch and just pull out a couple of loose hairs from your head.
Looks like he needs to see the hair doctor.
LT
Anyway.
is right. He's trying to.
Dr. B can help him
He's
out
trying
with
to make
that.
it look like it's from a different area, like
he
it was
is.
intentional from the kitchen staff.
I mean, he's got
I
a
see what you're
savage barbarian kid that doesn't ever need to be out. His wife gives no shits about him. And that's why he's doing this. He's like, I can pull out this hair. My wife will never see because she doesn't look at me anymore.
Yeah. And is that his mom near side that's just pouring the wine? She's
Oh, no,
just
just-
all into the bottles of wine.
Some couple nice pieces of steak left.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't want to try to do this. I mean, he's got to put hair on his steak. He's not even finished with it yet.
How about if that's you? I mean,
now the little girl's picking her nose. This is absolutely disgusting. Yeah, that family needs to be banned from all public appearances, any restaurants.
If I'm the wife, I'm on Tinder.
Look at me,
too,
Mom.
To get,
I just
get
licked
away
the
from
bowl.
the rest of them.
I mean, it could be this. Or we could flip this around. This would be more interesting than most of the
there you go.
The TV shows where you follow people around with cameras all the time. This would be a good group to follow around.
Look at this bowl, Mom. Here it comes. There you go.
Yeah, they need to get lost in the outback. From that disgusting story to this one, scientists have developed smart underwear designed to track how often people actually fart.
That was an untimely fire alarm.
Whoa.
Is that a one and done?
Yeah, it was a test of our.
That was odd.
Well, that was
our alarm
I
system.
thought that was the fartometer.
No, we've had it before. Remember, we actually had to take it to the parking lot. I think that was before Tyler. No, it was before Brooks. Were you here for that?
Yeah, the elevators were on fire.
Yeah. Tyler was here. Brooks was not yet.
Look at the graphic, though.
Now, they are saying that this is a first-of-its-kind breakthrough that could reshape how gut health is studied. Now, the wearable device, which snaps discreetly onto underwear, continuously monitors intestinal gas production by detecting hydrogen release during farts. Now, researchers say the technology offers the first practical, non-invasive way to measure flatus around the clock. Now, the study involved nearly 60 healthy participants and was led by researchers from the University of Maryland up in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, go Terps.
Until now, studies on this have largely relied on self-reporting, which researchers say is unreliable as participants often forget or miscount gas releases. New device tracks hydrogen, one of the primary gases released during flatulence. Farts typically contain hydrogen, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen. Because hydrogen is produced exclusively by gut microbes, researchers say measuring it provides a direct signal of the fermentation in the digestive system.
Okay.
So, there you go.
Would you wear that thing?
No, I think gut health is important, but I've got no desire to do this.
What if it added years to your life, though?
I mean, then at some point, I guess we could talk, I guess, yeah.
That is Trash Today, brought to you in part by our friends at New York Butcher Shop LT, a great place for you to swing by and enjoy some pre-made sides and meals.
Yeah, when's the last time you got one of those New York Butcher subs? You just get in.
It's been a while for that.
Substation, incredible. You can order, you can customize, you can get some of their go-tos. The deli sandwiches are fantastic for lunch or dinner. They're massive. But the fresh meats, can't beat it. Great staff of butchers, fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts as well, and catering options available. Stop and see Jim and the great staff there. 2 locations, the original Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Rare quality, well-done service. It is the New York Butcher Shop.
Our final thought from Ross Dellinger on Sacramento State joining the MAC. Not only are they paying the $18 million to the MAC, $5 million to the NCAA, they're taking no conference distribution from the MAC while they're a member, and they're going to cover air travel for visiting teams from the MAC.
Wow. Where are they getting this money?
I know exactly where. Sam Darnold's Super Bowl check.
That Super Bowl check is what, $100,000?
He actually lost money because of California taxes.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. I mean, to think about this. That Sacramento State would pay for the teams to play them in their conference. They're not going to make money on this deal at all.
Yeah, I get it if Sacramento State's getting in the new Pac-12 or they're getting in a conference other than the MAC. I mean, what they're going to be spending to travel to begin with is going to be insane, and now you're paying for the others to travel to you?
Their plan is for this to be short-term in the MAC, and then they move on to a different conference once they arrive. They told the players they were moving to the MAC starting this year. The players were excited. Do you know what they were mostly, according to Ross Dellinger's story, the thing the players were most excited about?
Playing in the snow.
Good answer, but no.
Yeah, good answer.
Because we see it every Tuesday and Wednesday night.
Yeah, having an opportunity to make bowl games.
That's another good answer, but no. They're most excited that they will be part of the EA College Sports college football game in 2027.
I can see that.
Yeah.
That is cool.
You know, but you say like their plan is to get into this conference. We brought up TCU and how they worked their way from CUSA to playing for a national championship.
That's what they would love to do.
But you got to be good. And to me, the problem is with all of this money, how are you going to get the right roster in there? Even if you do, how can you replicate it year after year? I don't know where they're getting their money. It's baffling.
I would imagine their hope is a little bit in the MAC, people get comfortable them being FBS, and then they jump into a bidding war between the Mountain West and the Pac-12, and then settle it with one of those leagues. We'll see what happens. But just thought it was interesting that this year they're going to pick up the the airfare of the visiting conference teams to travel out there. That's our show today. We're back with you tomorrow. Mick, man, thank you for being with us, driving up. I didn't know I thought you were just staying in town overnight and catching us on a drive-by. I didn't know you were driving all the way up and returning home to celebrate Fat Tuesday. You changed back out of your jacket for the final
Just did
segment.
it for one small segment on the show. I wanted to bring that to you guys.
We're in public. They probably get arrested today wearing that thing, but
with my purple polo.
Yeah, Fat Tuesday, and tell everybody how they can get you and Jake on the last call all the time.
Yeah, are we coming up next?
Yes,
Okay.
I have scheduled out the episode, so it's out right now.
It's out right now. All right, yeah, Jake Coker and I, last call, part of the next round, and we have a show where we laugh a lot, I'll tell you that much.
And it's right here on the same platform. You don't have to go to another YouTube channel or anything. It's right here, and it's available wherever you get our podcasts, including Apple and Spotify. TNR Clips. Tyler, tell us about TNR Clips.
Make sure to go to youtube.com/@TNR Clips to catch up on all the best bits of the show or just relive some moments that you really like. If you're ever late to the show, we post stuff on there too. So make sure to subscribe over there.
All right, that's the show today. Brownie back tomorrow. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.